Tascosa likes to schedule a very challenging non-district schedule, get battle-tested going into this. For Lubbock High, sometimes you look at their schedule, and I think it's a more about just trying to establish some positive vibes. But they've got some offensive players who really jump out of the page with you. They come at this game just 1-3, but it's not for a lack of points in some of their games.
And after what happened with Coronado last week with the passing game and having some success against the Tascosa defense, that just adds another layer of perhaps worry and tension. They've got this running back, Bo Davis, averaging 200 yards a game, just a sophomore, but we were watching him in the pregame, and he's built like every inch a football player. You may be too young to remember the Bo Knows Football ads, but
I played Tecmo Super Bowl. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, there you go. I hope we don't have to say that very much because as a sophomore averaging 200 yards a game, again, they've played Hereford, Big Spring, Snyder, and San Angelo, Lakeview. It's not the monsters of the Midway, but you don't average 200 yards a game at this level of football without being a heck of a football player.
Yeah, 10 yards a carry. I think it's like 9.8 when you look at his numbers, and he's just a sophomore. So really kind of an interesting threat to see there. And then they've also got a pretty good quarterback in Zach Reyna. He's averaging more than 200 yards a game passing. So really good balance between Reyna, the quarterback, a senior, and Davis, the tailback, who's a sophomore. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of those Tascosa offensive players we expect to make an impact. Lost in kind of the craziness of that game last week, the Tascosa offense was basically not stopped in any drive of consequence in that game. So we'll talk about them when we come back here on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
Beef O'Brady's prides itself on two simple ideas.
A place to sit down for some good food.
And a place to catch the game with your friends.
But you know what's even better?
Our daily specials are some of the best in Amarillo.
So the next time the kids are being picky,
you want to catch the game or check out some live music,
or you're just looking for a great happy hour with friends,
think Beef O'Brady's.
Plus online ordering and catering available.
Beef O'Brady's, where family time meets game time.
Let us be the first to help prepare you for the day.
Giving you the very latest on what's happened overnight, maybe something you've missed as you're waking up.
While you get the kids ready, we'll help you get ready for your day. Keep up to date with First Alert Weather.
Generally what's going to set the tone for the day.
And stay on top of breaking news.
Amarillo police responded to a single vehicle crash earlier Monday afternoon.
Right on time. Every morning, we'll be here. News Channel 10, The Early Show.
Back here at Dick Bivens on our pregame show, about 9 minutes away from kickoff here on this homecoming night between the Rebels and the Westerners. I feel like this might be the warmest weather game that we've had this whole season, as it's about 90 degrees here in the Texas Panhandle today. Very windy conditions. We are watching the kickers warm up, and we'll have a chance to talk about that, I'm sure, at some point during this game. But, Steve, we talked about it. We won't labor too long on that game against Lubbock Coronado last week, where Tascosa won 65-28. But it was kind of a surreal experience because for as back and forth as that game was, and then, of course, Tascosa exploded in the third quarter, and all of a sudden you and I looked up at the scoreboard, looked at each other, and saw 65 on the board. Tascosa's offense last week, maybe the best we've seen them all season in terms of what they did with that triple option.
It was definitely a bizarre experience. Like I say, at halftime we were looking at each other like we may be seeing, same thing they had up in Plainview with Cooper. We may be seeing the upset of the season, and all of a sudden, like you say, 5 minutes later, they've scored 37 points. It was just a total avalanche. And you're right, the offense was never stopped. 4, 5, 6 play drives, and the problem was they didn't stop anybody on defense. And hopefully the defense got enough of that last week where they don't want to see a repeat of it tonight.
Tell you what, we're going to pause here as we get ready for the anthem here.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
A great anthem performed, that time by the Tascosa Choir. We're so used to it being by the Rebel Regiment Marching Band, but the Tascosa Choir under the direction of Tiffany Russell with our national anthem. In fact, front and center, we had a good look at it. Your starting fullbacks out there singing the national anthem. Trayson Elliott's a member of the choir when he's not out here stealing touchdowns from Tendrick Sargent, it feels like sometimes. But really great part of the homecoming festivities here at Dick Bivens. Of course, you've got the color guard led by Major Diego Barella, the Navy JROTC, just part of the great programs that Tascosa High School has to offer. And we all get to kind of celebrate them here at homecoming as the Rebel Regiment now serenades everybody with the school song. But we were talking about that offense, and one of the things that I really liked watching out of that game, Steve, was it really felt like that triple option was running as a true triple option in a lot of those moments last week.
It was the best they've looked all year for sure. As they're hitting Reese Cabe, DeAndre and everybody else coming around the edge, piling up a lot of yardage. Cam Vallejo, Campbell Keene got in on the action. Colton Fulton, we talk about it every week. We think every week he's starting to look a little bit more confident in that knee, a little bit more assertive with his running, and hopefully they're rounding into form right here at the right time as we get into district play.
Yeah, this would be a great game. We've talked about Colton Fulton, obviously that season-ending ACL injury in the playoffs last year, and maybe at times looking a little bit timid, just kind of compared to the Colton Fulton we've known since his sophomore year. Starting to see him break out of the shell. This might be a great game to see if he can kind of burst onto the scene here as we get ready to kick things off in just a few minutes. Again, it's homecoming night here at Dick Bivens. Tascosa coming into this 3-2, 1-0 in district. For Lubbock High, it's their district opener, and we'll have kickoff after this timeout.
This is live high school football presented by NewsChannel 10 and the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
Braceros Mexican Grill and Bar on 6th Street and Braceros Downtown presents 2 new plates on the menu, California Plate and Aguachiles de Camarón.
Getting to work with the family means the world to us. I'm Matt Baratino. We've got Wild Texan Farm in Jordanton, Texas, where we raise poultry and pork, all direct to consumer. So we're out at farmers markets. We sell online via our website as well. We found Capital Farm Credit through an online Google search. Our local loan officer really walked us through how we could get a land loan to really start our farm. Being able to teach your family how to raise your own food. There's something special about it. And the biggest thing that I've learned through all of this is together we're better.
We take the stress out of collision repair. Jimmy Fincher Body Shop, the people who care. Make us your very first call. Cause at Jimmy Fincher we do it all. We fix it right, guaranteed. We don't cut corners, we do quality. Just as good as new, that's what we do. Jimmy Fincher Body Shop.
Hi, I'm country singer Lori Morgan, and when it comes to remodeling my bathroom, I trust Zentex Remodeling Group. As a family-owned and operated business right here in West Texas, Zentex installs bathtubs, showers, and accessibility systems all in as little as one day. Save $999 on your new bath or shower system or 0% interest financing, plus a free Kohler toilet with purchase.
Call 855-4ZENTEX. Found a car I love, so I went ahead and bought it. Ever since I did, people ask me where I got it. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. She's used, but she's a beauty. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. He sent me a lot of money, had a lot for me to choose. If you stop in, you'll be saying it too. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. Ooh, she's used, but she's a beauty. Bobby Doobie sold it to me.
Well, back here at Dick Bivens as we have the coin toss going on. Looks like Tascosa won the toss and elected to defer to the second half. So we'll see that Rebel defense out on the field first here in this game. And Steve, it's a unit we've talked a lot about here through the first 5 games of Tascosa football. Obviously, they jumped out early in the season. They only allowed 3 points in those first 2 wins. Then had very respectable showings in those 2 losses, really not on account of the defense, and that 6-point loss to Lubbock Cooper and 2-point loss to Odessa Permian. That first half last week was the first time where maybe you kind of looked at it and thought, okay, they're being, I don't want to say exposed a little bit, but having some issues with Lubbock Coronado. But boy, did they put an exclamation point. 37 points is a lot to score in one quarter, obviously, and you don't do it unless you're generating stops pretty quickly.
We talk all the time about teams being ready to play and who wants it more and all this kind of stuff. And when you come off games against Lubbock Cooper and Permian and looking ahead to Monterey and Abilene High and Amarillo High School, it is easy to overlook teams like Lubbock High School and Coronado, and you wonder if a little bit of that might have happened last week. One thing that's for sure, offense and defense are very different. Offense, you have a specific assignment to do every play. In defense, it's all about read and react and passion and all of that, and so if you're not really keyed up and ready to play, I think it'll show up more on defense than it does on offense, if that makes any sense.
And I also thought, you and I were talking about what Coach Blunk said. Coronado played very well in that first half. They weren't missing a lot of plays.
Well, their quarterback was 19 of 21 for over 200 yards in the first half. 150, something like that.
And then had a much more difficult second half here. So the teams have come out of their respective inflatables. You can hear the Tascosa fight song playing in the background. Rebels in all black here on this homecoming festivities. Black helmets, black shirts, black pants. Lubbock High with those gold helmets, white tops and black pants, making that trip up I-27 today. And we'll get our first look at this Lubbock High offense that has not struggled putting up points. They had 35 in their loss to Hereford, 27 in a loss to Big Spring, 48 in a win against Snyder, and then 49 in a loss a couple weeks ago to San Angelo Lakeview. And again, the number that we're going to look at is number 25, Bo Davis, their sophomore tailback, averaging more than 200 yards a game. He's gone over 100 in all but one of their games this season. And it'll be interesting. We talk about the test that it is for Tascosa facing a guy like that, but it's probably safe to say this will be his toughest test as well.
There's no doubt about it. It will be, but they've got other, Zach Reyna at the quarterback, as you said, averaging 200 yards a game, and then a couple of wide receivers. Denzel Robbins averaging he's had 210 yards, averaging 8.8, and then they've got one averaging 14.5 yards a catch, Israel Cervantes. So they've got some offensive weapons, and they're averaging nearly 40 points a game. And so I hope Tascosa, if they were sleepwalking through that first half last week, I hope it doesn't carry over to tonight.
Well, I mentioned there were 3 Rebels on the homecoming court, one on offense, one on defense, and one on special teams. As Charlie Wittenberg is one of the King nominees, and he's about to get this party started here by putting his right foot into it as the Rebels will be defending the south end zone. He's going to have a strong wind at his back. And Charlie's had some pretty good touchbacks this season. He might have had another one as this kick is going to go about 9 yards deep in the end zone, right over there by the Tascosa logo on the north side. And so the Lubbock High Westerners will start this first drive at their own 25-yard line.
Those kickers love it when they got a strong tailwind. They just let it loose. They feel like Hank Aaron out there aiming for the fences, like they're going to point to something.
Well, and you don't have any strategy, right? We see the pop-up directional kicks. Right. There's none of that. It's just hit it.
Right.
It's like being at the driving range. You don't have to worry about any trees. Just swing away, and that's
our strategy. Is let's not have any runbacks. But that's one way of doing it. Kick it at 9.5 yards deep in the end zone.
So we'll see this Lubbock High offense led by their senior quarterback, Zach Reyna. Like I said, they've had no problem putting up points against the board, but this is going to be their toughest test here as they come out in that spread look with 2 receivers to either side of Reyna. The ball right in the middle of the field at the 25-yard line. Now they kind of send a lineman in motion. They'll run a little sweep to Davis. He's looking for some running room right side, and it strung out very nicely as Jalen Johnson, one of the defensive backs, came up and made a really nice tackle, holding Davis to a gain of just 1.
Yeah, nice job there. As you said, they brought in a lineman to play that slot back more or less and brought him in motion and then did a little crackback block. But good speed from the inside of the Tascosa defense to bring him down. We'll give him a 2-yard gain out to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, they actually marked his forward progress.
That's 8 yards under his average.
I was going to say
do that all night. That's great.
Yeah, we'll see. So they tried to go out wide against this Rebel defense. Obviously running at that interior of Crush Johnson and Davion Woodruff is a mighty tall task. I mentioned there's a King nominee on offense, defense, and special teams. Over here on the defensive side of the ball, Mr. Woodruff will head out there at halftime.
Davion, and he's been a very, very important cog in that defense this year.
And we've got whistles, and Lubbock High, I think, was having some issues getting their play in. They're going to burn their first time out. We'll take a short break, be back with this second down play when we come back on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
You've got enough going on. Worrying about drinking water shouldn't be one. Get Aqua One premium water delivered. 5-gallon bottles are by the case. Stay safe. We'll deliver to your home with no contact front door delivery. Aqua One uses ozone filtration to provide the best and safest drinking water. By the case or by 5-gallon bottle to your front door with no contact delivery. Stay home. Stay safe. Order online at drinkaquaone.com or call Aqua One for delivery.
Well, back at Dick Bivens, you can kind of see there on the monitor the Tascosa defense never left the field, didn't feel much of a need to after just one play from scrimmage. But Lubbock High called the timeout, brought their troops over to their sideline on the far side, and now they reemerge to the field of play. Play clock already running here as it's 2nd down and 8 Westerners after a 2-yard run by Bo Davis. Now we get ready for this 2nd down play with the ball on the right hash of the 27-yard line. And the right tackle may have flinched. Tascosa wants the call, doesn't get it. There's going to be a quick sling pass. Davis has some room out on the left side as Damian Cervantes tries to bring him down at the 40, can't get him. And then Davis escorted out of bounds near midfield. I think the Rebels wanted that false start penalty, weren't necessarily ready for the snap of that ball. That's exactly what happened. And you've got to stay in the game. You know, if the referees call it, that's great. If they don't, the play's going to be live, and there was nobody out there to pick him up. Has to be an outside linebacker or the safety, and something got messed up, and he got free for 22 yards. Yeah. Impressive little run after the catch, too, making Cervantes miss. Not an easy task. Kind of like what we saw with Lubbock Coronado last week. Not afraid to be deliberate, shorten this game up a little bit if they can move the chains. As the Westerners run the play clock down to 5 near midfield at the 49-yard line. They're going to turn around, hand off Davis. He bounces it out left side, makes another man miss, and then gets very close to the first down yardage, then gets slung down very close to being in the white. But in the end, no harm, no foul on a 9-yard carry by Davis to the Rebel 42. That was a great little bounce out on that carry there.
And 9 yards on the carry, and he's going to run through those arm tackles. There was a couple there that thought they might have had a hand on him, and he just shrugs it off. So, you know, this first drive is always about feeling them out. If you ever watch a heavyweight prize fight, they're throwing jabs and circling and trying to find the softness and all that. So it takes a drive or two to get settled in.
Well, it was a few years ago where we watched that game where Tascosa kind of infamously beat Lubbock High 82-0.
Yeah.
And the Westerners, you and I will always remember the very first play. They decided to test Major Everhart and got pick-sixed. A lot more slow and deliberate approach here as they run the play clock down to 1, snap it there. They're going to fire a little screen pass out to the left side. It's going to be just about a 1 or 2 yard reception by Denzel Robbins. It is enough for a first down, as there's also a flag down on the play. As it stands, the 2-yard pickup would be enough for a first down.
Side judge is calling for a little bit of a conversation between he and the umpire and the referee so they can make sure they're making this call right. Happened very early in the play, right at the line of scrimmage.
Underway in the first quarter, it always is going to feel like, as we'll get the call from our referee Van Christensen here.
Holding, number 10, offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay the down.
Oh, that'll drive the Westerners head coach Juan Rodriguez crazy. You get a good first down into Rebel territory only to lose it on the holding penalty down the field. But as I was saying, it's always going to be a big game at some point in this District 2-5A. Tonight it's at Shotwell Stadium, where the Amarillo High Sandies are taking on Abilene. Amarillo High, after that big win over Lubbock Monterey, has jumped out to an early 7-0 lead in the first quarter. So we'll keep our eyes on that score as the Sandies look to get to 2-0. And really, if they could do that, I mean, that's against two of the, you know, if you look at 4 teams kind of being 4-way favorites, it'd be a heck of an opening statement for the Sandies. Still very early.
Making that Taladuro win look better and better for the Dons.
Man, I tell you what, that's going to be interesting as they get ready for district play. And now we've got whistles again as the play clock gets down to 0.
Delay of game. Offense.
No, had a delay.
5-yard penalty. Still second down.
I mentioned Lubbock's been very deliberate out here. It's only equated to 1:19 coming off the clock so far in this game.
Boy, just a second ago they were at the 40, first down, driving, and now 2 consecutive penalties all the way back to the Tascosa 45, facing a 2nd and 14.
You got to figure, though, for them, the way that they've liked to run it, it doesn't take Davis out of the equation as there's two receivers either side of Reyna. He's going to drop back. Woodruff flushes him out to the right. Reyna's got some running room, getting a little bit of an obstruction block by one of his wide receivers, and then Reyna runs it out of bounds back in Tascosa territory at the 48-yard line. Going to make it 3rd and a little bit more manageable, 3rd and 7 coming up here for the Westerners.
That's a nifty bit of running by Reyna. He did a great job of setting up a block as he was deciding whether to cut inside or take it to the sideline, set up that block. He called it an obstruction block, which is smart on that blocker's part. He didn't take his head off, just got in his way, and that's all you got to do.
It was Israel Cervantes, one of his receivers, making that block as there's 3 receivers out to the left for Reyna. Davis in the backfield with him. He's going to roll to his left. He's immediately being chased by Cohen Phillips. Dangerous floater in the middle of the field. Is going to be caught, though, for the Westerners. As the tailback Davis sneaking out of the backfield, it's settled in just past the sticks. Makes a nice little catch, and the Westerners, despite having 2nd and 14, move the chains down to the Tascosa 37-yard line.
He's their number 1 receiver so far. Has 34 yards and 2 catches, so a nice play by Reyna on the run.
6th play of this drive coming up here for the Westerners as they were able to overcome a couple of penalties on that last set of downs. And the Rebels want movement on the interior of that offensive line, don't get it. Now Reyna will get more instructions as he's got 4 to snap it. Down to 1 and maybe just barely beats the buzzer there as Davis gets the carry, bounces it out to the left, and again forced out of bounds over by the Lubbock High sideline. But a pretty solid run by Bo Davis. Looks like they'll give him about 5 down to the 32.
Yeah, 4-yard pickup there. And they're losing their outside contain. They run like a 3-4, 3 linemen and then 4 outside linebackers. And that outside linebacker's got to stay at home and set that edge, turn him back inside so he's not able to run like that.
So 2nd down and 5 at the Rebel 32-yard line. 9:42 to go here in this opening quarter. This is the first drive of the game. And Lubbock High's looked pretty sharp. We mentioned they've put up points and looking to do so here on this opening drive as Reyna's going to drop back to pass. Immediately flushed by Crush Johnson. Somehow he escaped, but unfortunately for him, he escaped right into the arms of Davion Woodruff, who cleans it up all the way back at the original line of scrimmage. And that is the 1-2 punch that you've got to avoid when you drop back to pass against Tascosa.
Man, I was watching through the binoculars and Crush tried to take his head off. He snuck underneath that blow, but Davion Woodruff was right on top of him. I wonder if Crush was over there saying, I get a half a sack on that.
I think he probably should because I think he kind of stunted the play.
Big 3rd and 10 here. That's problem they had last week is not getting off the field on 3rd and 4th down. Probably 4-down territory, but they got to hold them for a couple of plays here.
So the line to gain is the Rebel 27-yard line. Like Steve said, probably have 2 plays to do it. As Reyna takes the snap, immediate pressure, flushed. They've got him. He flings this over towards his sideline. There's no one there, and it didn't go past the line of scrimmage.
That's got to be
the officials, I think, are going to confer here.
Yeah,
this almost has to be intentional grounding as the officials, you've got the referee and the linesman. They're going to kind of just make sure that they saw what they thought they saw. But I have a hard time believing that a flag's not going to be dropped here. 3 or 4 Rebels. I think Cohen Phillips might have been the one in there first.
That was what you call a jailbreak. They were there before you had a time.
And are we going to get the flag or an announcement here?
Intentional grounding. Number 11, offense.
That's loss of down as well, so that's a big one. It'll be 4th and very long.
Yeah,
now.
For all intents and purposes, that counts as a sack there for the Rebels. My goodness, it was Cohen Phillips in there first, and then joining the party for Tascosa was number 27, Mikey Ramos. And we talked about them maybe treating this like 4-down territory, but that kind of loss is going to send out the punt team.
Okay, so that doesn't go down as a carry for anybody. It's not a loss in yardage. You're
team loss.
You're so wise and knowledgeable with these stats. I didn't think it did. It's an incomplete pass and intentional grounding and a penalty. Okay.
For what it's worth, it's 4th down and 24 Lubbock High at their own 49-yard line as Reese Cave is standing at his own 20 to return this punt. Lubbock may have had too many men on the field there, as the punt is going to be a pretty good one. It should carry to Cave. He may have a chance here as he fields it on the run at the 26-yard line. Cave down the left sideline just runs out of real estate, but a good burst of speed, and he's going to set the Rebels up with really nice field position at their own 48-yard line. Scoreless here with 8:40 to go in the first quarter.
Nice job. Reese Cave took it on the run, like you said, down the left sideline. One man might have kept him from tight roping all the way down to the end zone.
So the Rebels, after having to wait maybe a little bit longer than they were hoping to get the offense out there, will head out there. 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line.
A 4-yard punt.
4-yard net, yeah. It was actually not a bad punt. Unfortunately for Lubbock High, Reese Cape just caught it on the run. Fortunately for them, he caught it on the near sideline where there just wasn't as much room. So now Colton Fulton out there for the first time tonight, going to drop back. It looked like he almost was going to run that shovel to Cabe, instead keeps it himself. Has a nice carry into Lubbock High territory. Going to be enough for a first down as the senior quarterback keeps it for 10.
10 yards, nice little quarterback trap, and sold it well. You know, dropped back, set his feet, and then took off behind his lead blockers. Good 10 yards for the Rebels.
It's going to be a handoff. Trayson Elliott, the fullback. He's got running room at the 30. Trayson Elliott into the open field, lost his footing. The 10-yard line is going to get credit for that tackle. As Trayson Elliott goes down, it'll be first down and goal Rebels after 2 carries and 2 first downs, all the way to the 7. Now they go NASCAR, which we saw for the first time last week. Cabe in motion. Again, handoff Elliott. He's going to get stood up, tries to push the pile. He's getting a little bit of help from DeAndre Sanders. And the senior fullback's going to be stopped at the 1-yard line, so it'll be second down and goal for the Rebels from there.
That stinking turf monster got Trace at about the 10-yard line. He was trying to outrun that last safety and turn back into the inside. Second and goal from the 1. Need to punch this in.
Yeah, Rebels would like to get that now here. As Cabe goes in motion, handoff Sargent. We've got whistles and a flag as the officials signaled touchdown, but I think this may have been a pre-snap penalty here.
It's kind of odd. The young man running up to the referee signaled touchdown and then was telling him what happened. We'll see.
Illegal low block, number 51, offense. That is a 15-yard penalty.
That's a big one.
Ooh.
Still second down.
That's an interesting. That flag came out very early, and instead it's a personal foul penalty against Tascosa, so it backs him up. Now all of a sudden it's going to be second down and goal at the 16-yard line. Now they've put it down at the 11.
That's a 10 yards, you think? Is it?
Yeah, there's the extra 5. Yeah.
16. So low block, that could be 2 men engaged, one goes low. It could be somebody coming from the outside in, hitting him low. They're trying to protect knees, obviously.
It's a little bit of a challenge here for the Rebels as the handoff is going to go to Tendrick Sargent. He's going to look to try to carry the pile. He gets about half of what the Rebels need. As Sargent takes it down to the 8-yard line, it'll be third down and goal for the Rebels from here.
I thought it was going to happen again. You know, Trayson Elliott carried all the way down to the 1-yard line. They brought in Tendrick. And
it's been the other way around most of this season. A couple of seniors going to be fighting for some of those homecoming touchdowns. Third down and goal for the Rebels, though, here at the 8-yard line. Here's Fulton running the option to the left. He hurdles a guy, and he's going to be close. They're going to say he's in. Touchdown, Tascosa, as Colton Fulton, with that extra effort, was able to stretch the ball across the goal line. And with 6:54 to go in the opening quarter, it's the Rebels 6 and Lubbock High nothing.
What a great effort from the senior quarterback. Hurdled one man at the line of scrimmage, got tackled about the 2-3 yard line. One more step here, we see it on the replay, and then twisted and reached out and got the ball across the goal line.
So Charlie Wittenberg going to come on for the extra point. Rebels having to run a lineman out there rather quickly. David Gordon, the holder. Cadence Reyes, the long snapper for Tascosa, trying to execute this extra point and make it a 7-0 game here at Dick Bivens. And everything looks good from here, and it is. 6:54 to go in the opening quarter. Tascosa 7, Lubbock High nothing. We'll be back on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
You've got enough going on. Worrying about drinking water shouldn't be one. Get Aqua One premium water delivered. 5-gallon bottles are by the case. Stay safe. We'll deliver to your home with no contact front door delivery. Aqua One uses ozone filtration to provide the best and safest drinking water. By the case or by 5-gallon bottle to your front door with no contact delivery. Stay home. Stay safe. Order online at drinkaquaone.com or call Aqua One for delivery.
Sinking driveway? Call Legacy Support Works. Settling patio? Call Legacy Support Works. Uneven pool deck? Call Legacy Support Works. Collapsing stoop? Call Legacy Support Works. Cracking sidewalk? That's right. Call Legacy Support Works.
Foundation repair doesn't get better with time. It gets better with Legacy Support Works.
Call Legacy Support Works today.
Tascosa in front here on homecoming night at Dick Bivens, 7-0. We'll recap how they got there after this Charlie Wittenberg kick that's going to carry down to about the goal line through the hands of the Lubbock return man, and then he just lets it go out the back of the end zone. So the Westerners will start at their own 25-yard line again, this time trailing after that really impressive drive by the Rebels.
Rebel offense picked up right where it left off last week. You know, in that first half, they had 4 touchdown drives on 4 possessions, none of them taking more than 2 minutes. And this first drive, 5 plays, 52 yards, a minute 46 off the clock. Colton Fulton taking it in from 8 yards out. Wittenberg's kick was good. 7-0 Tascosa, 6:54 left in the first quarter.
Fulton, it's his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. 35 touchdowns on his career. Now move him into a tie for 4th place all-time in Tascosa high school history. Now we'll see this Westerner offense. They're going to turn around, hand off to Davis. Again, he tries to work the left side. You can tell that's got to be the side of their offensive line they want him to run behind, but this time the Rebels ready for it, and they stop him for a gain of just 1 there on first down.
Yeah, nice job by the interior. Good job over there by Johnny Price, who I think is just getting better and better every week. All the attention goes to Crush Johnson. Davian Woodruff's having a good year. But Johnny Price on that other side at that defensive tackle has really stood his ground and is becoming a force in these games.
I say they run to the left because they might like that side of the offensive line. That's also opposite of where Woodruff and Johnson are, so that may be part of that decision as well. As it's 2nd down and 9 here for Lubbock High with 2 receivers either side, and then there's movement. They're going to have to call this one.
That's it. You know, I think defenses do that on purpose. I don't know if you noticed the 2 defensive linemen shifted
laterally.
You know, and they can tell by now. You know, they've heard several plays. They've kind of tuned into the cadence, and you know when they give that little set, you know, like quarterbacks say Omaha or here we go, that kind of thing. When they hear that, they laterally shift real quick, and those offensive linemen that are all keyed up, you know, they jump. And on defense, you can move. On offense, you can't.
There is a little bit of a discussion, I will say, for what seemed like kind of an obvious false start, and they may be having the question of whether it was induced or not.
They just went sideways.
That's what it looked like from up here. And that may
just
be
a defensive line shift to me. I mean, I was watching it pretty close. So
I don't know. They're talking to the Lubbock High sideline. Let's see what they call.
I think Lubbock High sideline's talking to them.
False start. Number 51.
That's what they're contending is that they were induced.
So 2nd and 9 becomes 2nd down and 14 here. Rebels in front 7-0 midway through this opening quarter. Trying to get a stop here. Lubbock High going into the wind. You'd love to have them punt at least another time into this wind. As Reyna's going to drop back to pass. Again, flushed. Wow. Woodruff gets him from behind. There was a host of Rebels kind of collapsing that pocket, but Davion Woodruff off that edge is the one who ends up bringing him down. And just like that, it's 3rd down and very long here for the Westerners.
Man, he looked like the Cape Crusader coming around that left edge. He just completely whipped the offensive tackle on the full fly, and Reyna never saw him, just landed on top of him, swallowed him up.
There's a Rebel kind of slow to get up here. We'll see.
A little shaken up, but it looks like he's going to get up and walk it off.
Yeah, it's going to be Woodruff who's coming off under his own power.
He had to get down and bend so much to get around that corner and may have tweaked his ankle or something, but he's up walking on it pretty good.
Yeah, he seems to be moving around okay. We haven't seen him run here, but it's going to be 3rd down and very long coming up here for Lubbock High.
With Amarillo National Bank Student Visa Debit Card, you can teach your kids about money early. Smart spending, building a budget, and there's even a cash bonus for good grades.
That is not allowed. We will suspend play until that's gone.
Oh, there's a drone that's flying over the stadium, and the referee, Van Christensen, just announced that play is going to be held up until the drone has been taken off. Ken Plunk's out past the numbers trying to get an explanation here.
I hope it's not one that got lost in Ukraine.
I have been informed that is the police drone. Obviously, that's allowed. We'll continue playing.
All right, that's a new one.
I was just thinking that. We've got a drone crew here for the police department to keep an eye on the parking lots and the crowd and all that kind of thing. So this is the first time we've had a concern or a question about it.
I can't see it from where we are. I did see him setting up, for what it's worth, behind the press box, so it might be just kind of over our head.
Yeah.
So We'll get back to action, fortunately, very quickly here. I was starting to worry about what we were going to do to fill a drone situation. 3rd down and 21, though, here for the Westerners, all the way back at their own 14-yard line. They send a man in motion right to left as Reyna's going to have to find a way to buy time. They try to buy him some as they roll him out to the right. He steps out of one tackle, looking down the field, just kind of slings it over in the area of where one of his receivers was as he was looking for Denzel Robbins, but that pass skips in incomplete. Great defensive stand there by the Rebels as they force a very impressive 3-and-out.
Yeah, good pressure, good coverage. That's hard to beat when you've got 4th and 3rd and long like that. Everybody knows you got to throw the ball deep. You can always run a draw, something like that, and probably pick up 10 yards, but still got to punt the ball. So good job defensively by the Rebels for 2 drives in a row.
So Reese Cabe, who had a great return to set him up in good field position last time, already standing at the Lubbock High 44-yard line as Easton Blakely gets ready to punt it away to Tascosa. Good pressure. It's a high kick into this wind. This is going to check up, and the Rebels need to get away from it as it hits at about the 31-yard line and just checks up there. So Tascosa is going to take over at the Westerner 30. 5:16 to go here in this first quarter, already leading it by a score of 7-0.
I think they're going to give them the 29-yard line. What fantastic field position. Exactly the way you'd want to draw it up as a coach. You know, we're going to go on defense, hold them, make them punt into the wind, get good field position, score, do it again. It's picture perfect for Tascosa so far.
Yeah, you'd like to do that at least once more this quarter if the offense can do this quick enough here. Needed just 5 plays to score from 52 yards out last time. We'll see with the ball right at the 30 as Fulton's going to drop back to pass, has time, slings it down the field, looking for Gordon. He's got him. Touchdown, Tascosa. 5:08 to go here in the first quarter. That time they only needed 1 play as Colton Fulton, that's his 6th touchdown pass of the season, and we're seeing a little bit more of that as this year goes on.
More and more, and he does love to throw it deep. You know, he's got a heck of an arm, and I think that's 2 touchdowns in 2 games for Gordon. Is that right? Didn't he have a touchdown last week?
I think you're right, yeah.
So he's turned into quite a threat as well. Great job.
And it wasn't bad coverage. I mean, Gordon had maybe a step and a half, and Fulton did a nice job. We've seen him at times with the wind at his back put a little bit too much on it. Did a nice job laying that up, and Gordon, who's also going to hold this Wittenberg extra point attempt that's good, was able to haul it in for a touchdown. 5:08 to go in the opening quarter. Rebels in front of Lubbock High 14-0. We'll be back on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
Hey Amarillo, the More to Move You sales event is on. I'm Taylor Brigette, and there's never been a better time to get behind the wheel of a new Mazda. Enjoy low monthly payments on our best-selling models. 1.9% on a 2025 Mazda CX-50 plus 90 days no payment. 1.9% on a 2025 Mazda CX-90 plus 90 days no payment. And as always, warranty forever at no extra cost. Visit us today or anytime at MazdaAmarillo.com.
We take the stress out of collision repair. Jimmy Fincher Body Shop, the people who care. Make us your very first call. 'Cause at Jimmy Fincher we do it all. We fix it right, guaranteed. We don't cut corners, we do quality. Just as good as new, that's what we do. Jimmy Fincher Body Shop.
It doesn't matter how good a fast strike offense you got, it's going to be hard to beat 1 drive, 1 play. And that's what the Rebels have done. They've had 2 drives so far, 5 plays, 52 yards, 1 play, 29 yards, 6 plays, 2 touchdowns. David Gordon hauling in a 29-yard pass from Colton Fulton. Wittenberg's kick was good, 14-0 Tascosa, 5:08 left in the first quarter.
Wittenberg's kick was very close as it headed towards the pylon over here on the north side, and unfortunately it went out of bounds just before it got there. It's not really that punitive, though, at the high school level. They put it at the 30-yard line instead of the 25, but it was a kickoff out of bounds, and so Lubbock High will go out there for their 3rd offensive series. They had a good first drive, picked up a couple first downs, got into Tascosa territory, but that Rebel defense flexed some muscle on the last time out, held them to 3 plays. They went backwards 11 yards. And then a short punt set the Rebels up with very good field position. They scored 1 play later. Westerners kind of go in tight here at the 30-yard line. Going to turn around, handoff Davis. Jalen Johnson does a good job plugging that hole. Davis able to kind of fall forward and pick up some positive yardage. A gain of about 4 makes it 2nd down and 6.
You know, everything you do is out of necessity. The reason they're going tight is because Reyna went over there and said, Coach, can somebody block those guys? Because every time he dropped back, he had 2 rebels in his face. So they brought in a tight end instead of having 4 wideouts, and now they're going to spread it out a little bit and see if they can get Tascosa on their heels a little bit.
So 2nd down and 6 at their own 34-yard line. Westerners again run the play clock down below 10. Now Reyna takes the snap, pitches out to Davis. Almost looked like he didn't want it. Now he tries to go against the grain. He's being chased from behind. He gets bulldogged down, although a flag comes down. As Kais Fain made a nice pursuit there. We'll see if the tackle was by the letter of the law, though.
Oh, man, he played that so well. Stayed at home, you know, kept what we call your relationship. You know, you don't let them get outside of you. And thinking he was probably going to cut it back inside, but he still tried to get around him and wasn't able to do so. But we've got a flag. A lot of times that running back will stick that hand out there and stiff arm, you know, and so the defensive player is reaching and trying to get through it.
Personal foul. Face mask, number 17. Defense. That is a 15-yard penalty from the original spot. Automatic 1st down.
And I tell you, there's a lot of times if you watch football, especially on slow motion, there should be face mask calls against running backs doing that. A lot of times they'll get their hand in the face mask, you know, and of the opposing player and, you know, give them an advantage, but they seldom call it on the offensive player.
So it's a fresh set of downs as the Westerners move it out near midfield here at their own 49-yard line. Clock rolling, 4 minutes to go here. Some substitutions for Tascosa. It looks like Davion Woodruff is back out there, which is a great sign, obviously. And now there's some confusion by the Rebels, and we've got a timeout called here.
Timeout.
I want to recognize some of our fantastic sponsors that help us bring all these contests to you on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network. The McCraw Law Group and Braceros need you to get out there and work with those guys and give them your business. I say it every week. I love Braceros on 6th Street, one of my favorite places to eat. And so get out there and get some Mexican food, or if you need a good law group, McCraw Law Group would be the one to call.
Well, the timeout was actually called by Lubbock High. They might have done Tascosa a favor because there were some personnel issues coming here off the home sideline. But that's the 2nd timeout used by Lubbock High already here in this 1st quarter. So 3:49 to go in this opening frame. 14-0 Rebels. Lubbock High has had a couple of punts. Tascosa's had a couple of touchdowns that Colton Fulton's had his fingerprints on. 1 rushing and 1 passing to David Gordon. As the 1st down and 10 play, they're going to hand off Davis, looking for some running room left side. He got tripped up from behind, was able to stumble forward for a gain of about 4, maybe 5 yards, as it looked like it might have been Sam Adams who almost got him in the backfield.
Yeah, Sam had an arm around his thigh, but he's strong enough to run through that. Going down, but able to keep that impetus going and picked up 4 yards.
So 2nd down and 6 here at the Rebel 47-yard line. So 2nd time this 1st quarter, Lubbock High's been able to get it into the plus side of the 50-yard line. They went backwards in a hurry last time. Reyna drops back. They throw a little screen pass. Fain was able to shed a blocker and then trip up the receiver from behind, as that pass reception went out to Israel Cervantes, a junior wide receiver. Amari Moore also kind of in there to help corral him, but really good pursuit by Fain yet again.
Yeah, really just picked up 3 yards, is that correct?
Yeah.
So really good job on the defense. It looked like they had it blocked pretty well at front first, but the pursuit and the quickness of the linebackers and the secondary for Tascosa coming into play there.
So 3rd down and 3 for Lubbock High. We'll see if this ends up being 4-down territory if the Rebel defense can make a stand here. Reyna's in the gun. He's going to hand off Davis. He's got a little bit of a seam. It's going to depend on the spot here, as I think he was able to lunge forward almost on the back of one of the Rebel defenders trying to bring him down right to the 41-yard line. And they're going to call that just enough for a 1st down. So the Westerners move the chains again here. trying to make this a one-possession game if they can punch it into the end zone.
That was an interesting play. Cohen Phillips came up from his linebacker position and just nailed Davis about a yard deep across the line of scrimmage, but he also got hit from behind by one of the linemen for Tascosa, and that drove him forward for another couple of 3 yards and picked up the first down.
If anything else, the Westerners may be able to flip the wind here as we go into the final 2 minutes. They run a little bubble screen pass out to the left side, caught, and then just 2 or 3 Rebels able to bring down Isaac Legasio, a junior wide receiver. And he took a shot. It looked like Kais Fain was in there over there again. It's going to be a 1-yard pickup there, 2nd down and 9.
And you can tell with every drive, Tascosa's starting to get a bead on, their cadence and the way they run their plays and what to be looking for. They're a lot more aggressive on this drive, really running to the ball. And here again, that's 2 pass plays in a row where it could have broken loose for 5 or 10 yards, and just the speed of the Rebel defense kept them from doing so.
Aggressive was the word you and I were using to describe the defense in the second half last week against Coronado, as Reyna again facing some pressure, slings it. He's got a man who makes a nice catch, and that's going to be very close, as dragging across the middle of the field was Denzel Robbins. Did a nice job getting a paw on that and then bringing it in, and then was able to run after the catch. He's about 2 yards shy of the line to gain, but again, Lubbock High in a good position here to maybe pick up another first down.
I think it was Arion Kelly that came in and laid a shot on him and made him go out of bounds and actually lost a yard from where he originally was, but a good job of closing and putting a good shot on him, keeping him from gaining the first down.
3rd down and 3 when they mark it down at the Tascosa 34-yard line. 48 seconds to go here in this first quarter. We've got 4 receivers out in the motion. They're both stacked up here. It's going to be a design quarterback draw. Reyna trying to bounce it out to the right side, does, and then steps out of bounds right in front of the Tascosa sideline. Needed 3, got 4, and it's another first down for the Westerners at the Tascosa 30.
Yeah, nice. Here again, nifty little run by Reyna. You can tell he's played a lot. I thought he was a 3-year starter, certainly his 2nd year, if I remember correctly, but he's been in a lot of games, knows how to read defenses, set up his blocks, and he knows when not to take a shot if you don't have to. If that sideline's there and your run is over, get out of bounds and live to play another down.
There is just about a half-second difference between play clock and game clock that is not going to require Lubbock High to run another play. And for a team that's looking to shorten this game, they will head over to their sideline and call that the end of the first quarter. 2 offensive series for Tascosa gives them 14 points. The defense looks to keep this shutout going. But the Westerners have it in Rebel territory when we come back for the second quarter here on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network and News Channel 10.
Braceros Mexican Grill and Bar on 6th Street and Braceros Downtown presents 2 new plates on the menu, California Plate and Aguachiles de Camarón.
With more than 30 years of experience, we at Dawkins Overhead Doors take pride in our same-day installation and repair services, and we work to get you the best door for your needs. Dawkins also offers MyQ-compatible doors to help you monitor and open or close your garage whenever, wherever, right from your mobile device. From commercial to private, we're able to install or repair your garage doors no matter the size or style. Give us a call. Dawkins Overhead Doors has you covered.
Craving fajitas? Come to Braceros Mexican Grill and Bar on 6th Street and Braceros Downtown on Wednesdays to get your choice of fajitas for $13.99. Chicken, beef, shrimp, or combination, all for $13.99. Only at Braceros.
Back here at Dick Bivens as we get ready for the start of the second quarter. Rebels in front 14-0 here on homecoming night at Dick Bivens. But Lubbock High's got the offense on the move here. 5 minutes and counting into this drive. We're about to watch the 8th play of it. And they've got first down and 10 at the Tascosa 30. It's been a very deliberate Lubbock High approach. Trying to shorten this game, as you can kind of expect. But so far, we've been pretty impressed, especially with that sophomore tailback, Bo Davis. He's had some really good runs here, and he's going to get a pitch to the left side. He's going to have to try to make something happen here, and gets cut down right at the line of scrimmage as Kais Fain yet again coming up from that. They call him a rover on the depth chart. It's kind of a mix between linebacker and defensive back, and he did a nice job bringing him down for a 1-yard loss there.
Yeah, that's twice they've run Romulo Escobar, 255-pound offensive lineman out there as a blocking slot back, bringing back in motion into the formation, and I think they saw enough of that to say, I think that's a giveaway. They're going to run a pitch this side. So we'll see if Lubbock High has a play off of that.
Second down and 11 here at the Tascosa 31-yard line. Westerners again in tight. They're going to turn around, hand off Davis, trying to run behind the right side. He's got a pretty good push, then gets pulled backwards and slung down. But a nice little 6-yard run makes it 3rd down and 5. And again, Lubbock High, they're doing a pretty good job right now, Steve, at giving themselves some 3rd and manageables here.
Very good. Yeah, good clock management, good game management. Like you said, 3rd and 5, it's 4-down territory. And very, very intentional about slowing the game down, using the play clock, not giving Tascosa as many offensive opportunities as they would normally get in a game.
And it almost has to be frustrating too, right? Because you're watching them. There's no hurry at all. And you've got a Tascosa offense, and I'm sure, they've only run 5 plays here, and we're some 45 minutes into the game of real time, as Reyna's going to drop back. Wanted to throw it out right, wasn't really there, and then he gets drugged down by Sam Adams. Don't think it's going to be a sack because Reyna was able to actually scramble forward for a yard there. But really good job collapsing that pocket yet again, and then Sam Adams finished it off.
Yeah, complimentary football there. The line flushed him out of the pocket. Linebacker was there to mirror him and bring him down for that 1-yard gain.
All right, well, we talked about it. This was the struggle last week in the first half. Get off the field, and that's what the Rebels will try to do on 4th down and 4. Lubbock High sends the offense out there at the Tascosa 24-yard line. Got 2 receivers either side. They're going to get it via penalty here as Reyna's going to throw this free play up for grabs. It's incomplete. And I got to tell you, I thought it was a free play, but I didn't see a flag actually fly out. And Tascosa may have caught a little bit of a break there as that goes down as an incomplete pass and a turnover on downs on the 11th play of that drive for Lubbock High.
I'll tell you one thing Tascosa is going to be talking to the officials about is Reyna. I was here again because my eyes are going bad. I watch a lot through the binoculars. He has his hands out like all shotgun quarterbacks do, and when he gave the false signal, he jerked his hands real hard. And that's when the Tascosa player jumped offside. So that's one of those things, if the officials are watching and are of a mind to do so, they can call a false start on the offense. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So maybe they just decided not to call anything and let them play, and they'll talk to the coaches between plays.
So 1st down Rebels, ball's on the left hash. Fulton going to keep it himself. Late pitch out to Sanders, and Sanders initiating some contact. Gets cut down at about the 32-yard line. Nice little 8-yard run by the senior tailback. First carry that we've seen for DeAndre Sanders. Nice job catching that pitch off of his back hip.
He's had a heck of a year. Now, he's averaging 11.1 yards per carry on that pitch. They just get so tired of getting pounded by the fullback, then he comes out and puts the lightning on them.
So here's a fake pitch to Cabe. Fulton looking to throw, fires. He's got Sanders, and there's a nice catch into Lubbock High territory. And then Sanders gets tackled out of bounds, but a nice little 1st down. Fulton to Sanders, and that's a really effective pass play to see Tascosa run on a 2nd down and short.
Oh, I'd love to see them do more of that. 23 yards on the pass to Sanders, and man, coming out of the backfield like that, I promise they're going to be open a lot.
The ball now at the Lubbock High 45-yard line. Fulton going to run a little end around here as they pitch it to Cabe. He's got some room on the right side. If he can beat a man, he may go. He does at the 20. Cabe gets a great block downfield by Trayson Elliott and walks it in. Touchdown Tascosa as Reese Cabe takes the end around 45 yards. Walked that ball right over to the official after they were called for unsportsmanlike conduct last week. But a really good job by Cabe, and I know you love to always talk about the downfield blocking on a play like that.
What a block, all the way downfield by the fullback, as that was Trayson Elliott, was 35 yards downfield, and Reese did a great job of kind of bending back to the inside to make that defensive back hesitate, and there's Trayson Elliott, like I say, 35 yards downfield. A lot of times the fullback run that fake and then give up on the play, but great play by the Rebels.
Wittenberg's extra point is good. The Rebels have run 9 offensive plays. They lead it 21-0 over the Westerners here on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
We were in a car accident shortly after leaving church on Mother's Day.
The McCraw Law Group was really there for us. As soon as they got a hold of the case, everything was prompt.
We were compensated fairly, and the most important thing of all is we were able to restore our time with our boys. I think if someone were to ask us for any advice, if they were in an accident, it would definitely be to call McCraw Law Group.
If you've been injured in an accident, at the McCraw Law Group, we're here to help. 806-342-5900.
Beef O'Brady's prides itself on two simple ideas.
A place to sit down for some good food.
And a place to catch the game with your friends.
But you know what's even better?
Our daily specials are some of the best in Amarillo.
So the next time the kids are being picky.
You want to catch the game or check out some live music.
Or you're just looking for a great happy hour with friends.
Think Beef O'Brady's.
Plus online ordering and catering available.
Beef O'Brady's, where family time meets game time.
Well, the Rebel offense picking up right where they left off after scoring 65 last week against Lubbock Coronado. They've scored 21 on 3 possessions here against the Lubbock High Westerners. Charlie Wittenberg kicking into the wind here, and this ball does kind of check up at about the 10-yard line. Fielded by Cervantes for the Westerners. Oh, and then he takes a shot, I believe, by the other Cervantes, Mr. Damian Cervantes.
Might be cousins. Maybe he was looking for that opportunity. As you said, the Tascosa offense just continues to just function on all kinds of cylinders, inside, outside, passing the ball, running the pitch. And Reese Cave that time took it 45 yards on the 3rd play of the drive, only 46 seconds off the clock. Makes our score with Wittenberg's kick 21-0. Tascosa with 8:47 now left on the clock.
This will be the 4th offensive drive for the Westerners. 2 of them have at least crossed midfield here, so they've shown some promise. But the Rebels have been up to the task, shutting down each of the previous 3 drives. Here's going to be a little screen pass, dangerously thrown out there as 2 receivers. Almost wasn't sure exactly who was the intended receiver and who was the blocker. It bounces off the hands of Israel Cervantes, who took that shot on the kickoff. Pass falls incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Cos Fain got there so quick. If he was wanting to go for the ball instead of the man, he might have been able to just pick that off and run it in. Here again, they start getting used to what they're seeing, and the reaction time is so much quicker. They can just see it developing, know what they need to do, and, man, Cos was there about the time the ball got there.
For Reese Cave, that's his 4th touchdown of the season. Just 2nd rushing, though, as he's had a couple of those little screen pass, those shovel passes that we've seen from Tascosa that have gone for scores. So 2nd down and 10 here for the Westerners. Now we've got whistles. The play clock's at 0 again, and the back judge, T'Challa Ross, has his flag out around midfield.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Take them back to the 19-yard line. Do they have any timeouts left?
They've got 1, but that's the 2nd delay of game as well from Lubbock High here in this first half.
That may be a situation where they say take the 5 yards instead of use the timeout, but that's what happens when you use those timeouts early to get personnel on the field and everything. It really hamstrings you for the rest of the half.
2nd down and 15 Westerners at their own 19-yard line. Raina's going to hand off Davis. He's looking to run left side, but Crush Johnson says no, as Johnson almost took the handoff and dropped Davis for a 6-yard loss all the way back to the 13-yard line.
And really starting to assert themselves defensively as well as offensively, and Crush and that whole offensive line is really dominating up front right now.
And, we got a really good look at it on the pick 6 that Crush Johnson got last week. His speed, I think, is a real underrated part of what he brings to the table.
Once he started heading north, there was nobody going to catch him.
And we saw it there in that pursuit of that run. So 3rd down and long, 3rd and 20. After an incomplete pass, delay of game, and then a 5-yard loss on the run, the Westerners way behind the sticks here as Raina drops back, has some time, steps up, makes a man miss. As I think it was Jalen Johnson, was going for a highlight reel and allowed Raina to at least get out of there. He had so far to go. He got the yardage back to the original line of scrimmage, but no further. In fact, I don't even know if he got that far as they give him out to the 22-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and 12.
You're right. It was Jalen Johnson went way up in the air, and went for the fake and just flew straight past him. And it was really kind of funny to look like in slow-mo, and allowed Raina to get out of the pocket and pick up those 9 yards, but still very, very short. Good job defensively, force them to punt.
So 2nd 3 and out forced by the Tascosa defense here in this first half. And now we'll see.
Second drive of minus yardage, too.
Yeah, we'll see Cabe. He's standing at his own 42-yard line as we've got whistles. And the play clock's at 0 again. It's going to be a 3rd delay of game penalty here on Lubbock High in this first half. Gives us a chance to look at some of the scores here around District 2-5A. Everybody's in the second quarter here tonight.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
We're at Lowry Field where we were last week. Lubbock, Coronado, and Monterey doing battle. The Plainsmen looking for their first district win, and they lead that game 21-0. As we see this punt, it's a high kind of knuckler, just end over end. Cabe fields at his own 49-yard line, looks to work to the right side, and a really nice job by the Lubbock High up man as number 10, Isaac Lagasse, was able to get him out of bounds and drag him down. Just a 3-yard return for Cabe to the Westerner 48-yard line. So Monterey in front of Coronado 21-0, and Amarillo High, they're about late in the second quarter. 4 minutes to go, in fact, and it's 14-0 Sandys over the Abilene Eagles.
And that PD game may have been a wake-up call, for, if nothing else. But
I think PD's that good.
PD is that good. They were that good. Like I said, it's making them look better and better. But Sandys are heading into district and looking very, very strong.
Of course, Tascosa and Amarillo High will finish the season playing each other here at Bivens. Here's Cam Vallejo in the game. He gets a pitch left side. Great speed, great bounce out to the left side as Vallejo takes it inside the Lubbock 30 all the way down to the 29-yard line. Great 19-yard run by a guy who you figure is probably the future of that backfield for Tascosa.
No doubt about it. And you mentioned he had that little step inside, set up the block, and then bounced it back to the outside. And good pursuit from behind, or he might have scored on that play.
Looks like Campbell King is also checked in for the Rebels. Tendrick Sargent's in at fullback. Well, that's 1st down and 10 at the Lubbock High 29-yard line. 7 minutes to go. Fulton's dropping back to pass here. Scrambles. He's got running room left side. Throws a little pump fake and then takes a shot as he goes out of bounds, but not before Fulton has a 1st down. And by the way, he did it right exactly on the nose with that touchdown carry back in the first quarter. But he needed 18 yards coming into this game to go over 3,000 for his career. And he has passed that here tonight with another impressive 1st down run there.
Yeah, that gives him 32 yards carries from 3 carries and a touchdown. So had that little fake after he was already across the line of scrimmage, but defensive back went for it anyway.
1st and 10 at the 15-yard line, handoff fullback, and Lubbock High does a good job stuffing this up as Trayson Elliott gets dropped at the 13-yard line. Just a 2-yard pickup. That might be the slowest offensive play the Rebels have had here in this first half.
I think everybody was standing around like only 2 yards.
That's what it kind of feels like. It's only the 12th play they've run so far.
They have been very efficient.
That's how you know you're spoiled.
Yeah, no doubt about it, yeah.
2nd down and 8 here for the Rebels. In the red zone at the Lubbock High 13, they send a man in motion. It's going to be Fulton who's running behind Trayson Elliott, and Fulton gets out of a couple of tackles trying to lunge towards that 5-yard line, which would have been enough for a 1st down. He's going to be about a yard short, but really good effort by Fulton sets his team up with 3rd down and 1 at the Lubbock High 6.
Now that looked a lot like the old Colton, trying to drag 2 or 3 people, twisting while he's being held and all that kind of stuff. I think it's end zone fever. When you get down inside that 10-yard line, they just do anything in the world to get it in there in that end zone.
All right, 5th play of the drive here. This match is the longest for Tascosa so far. It's a handoff, and Tendrick Sargent will walk it in. Great blocking up front by that Tascosa offensive line as the fullback goes in untouched from 6 yards out. And with 5:40 to go here in the first half, the Rebels continue a perfect game, up 27-0.
Just 5 plays that time, continuing to be so strong up front, and everything's working well. The dive, the pitch, the pass, Colton running the quarterback trap, everything is just working well.
Well, the defense is 4 for 4, the offense is 4 for 4, and Charlie Wittenberg is going to try to make himself 4 for 4 on extra points. Good rush by Lubbock High, but the kick is up and good. 5:40 to go in the first half, 28-0 Rebels here on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
We take the stress out of collision repair. Jimmy Fincher Body Shop, the people who care. Make us your very first call. 'Cause at Jimmy Fincher we do it all. We fix it right, guaranteed. We don't cut corners, we do quality. Just as good as new, that's what we do. Jimmy Fincher Body Shop.
Are you noticing sinking floors, sagging walls, or cracking concrete? Don't put it off any longer. Call Legacy Support Works today. The longer you wait to fix your foundation problem, the more expensive the repair can be. In some situations, the cost of foundation repairs could almost double every year. Legacy Support Works is your trusted provider for all foundation repair needs. We can fit any budget with great financing options available.
Foundation repair doesn't get better with time. It gets better with Legacy Support Works.
Tascosa continues their offensive output. Go ahead 28-0 on a Tendrick Sargent 7-yard run. Wittenberg's kick was good, 28-0, 5:40 left still in the first half.
So Wittenberg, we saw kind of a shorter kick. Here's a directional kick, and it's not going to be a fair catch called for. And the Westerners are going to start around their own 30 or 31-yard line as Jose Flores, a senior wide receiver, made the catch on that kickoff, and that's where the Westerners will take over, right at the 30-yard line, trailing 28-0. We gave you the other two 5A scores, Monterey and Amarillo High leading Coronado and Abilene respectively. Big game for Eric Mims and the Paladuro Dons as they're taking on Wichita Falls Memorial down at Memorial Stadium in Wichita Falls. And it's 28-6 Dons midway through the second quarter.
Go PD.
They're the real deal. We kind of left there feeling that way after that Tascosa game that went 10-0 in favor of the Rebels. That win looks more and more impressive for Tascosa as this goes on. So here's Lubbock High for their fifth offensive possession of the first half at their own 30-yard line. Reyna's going to drop back, and that was a little screen pass. And upset with him for not catching the ball was Denzel Robbins, although we've got a really good look at it. I'm not so sure that wasn't a little bit of a break for Lubbock High because that looked like a loss waiting to happen.
There were a lot of people running to him in a hurry. Bo Davis wasn't in there as the running back on that particular play, still not on the field. So I don't know if there's some kind of injury situation or what's going on, but their 200-yard per game running back is not on the field.
Yeah, checked into the backfield is Anthony Boyd, a junior running back. Haven't seen him get a carry yet as it's 2nd down and 10. 3 receivers. Here's Boyd. Well, there's your first carry right into the arms of Crush Johnson as they ran a halfback draw.
Thanks, Coach.
And Johnson read it like a book and dropped Boyd for a 4-yard loss. So it's 3rd down and long once again for Lubbock High, 3rd and 14.
I say this at least once every year. Has there ever been a more aptly named player than Crush Johnson for a defensive tackle? And, man, he's just gotten better and better every year. Going to Tech next year, and everybody knows it because they double-team him all over the place. And that opens things up for Davian Woodruff, Johnny Price, all those linebackers. But he's a heck of a player.
That's becoming, you always call Penn State linebacker U and things like that. Tascosa on the defensive line is kind of turning that into that kind of a high school here, as we're about to have the 4th delay of game penalty here against the Westerners. They still have 1 timeout, but they had to use 2 very early.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's so disheartening. And you just want to crawl inside your parka over there on the other sideline.
Yeah, I was looking at the wide receiver on our near side, Isaac Lagasse, and he just kind of threw his hands up. That's an understandable reaction here as it's 3rd down and 19 for the Westerners. Have to get it all the way out to their own 40-yard line here, or else they're going to give the ball right back to Tascosa's offense. Here's Reyna. He's going to drop back now, steps up into the pocket, throws a little jump pass. Westerners were looking for maybe a holding down the field, but that play was going nowhere quickly, and honestly, Lubbock High probably fortunate that it's an incomplete pass, and they'll send out the punt team for the 4th time this evening.
That was one of those pretty plays you see in college and the pros a lot. It's like the defensive line got shuffled to the outside and opened up a way for the quarterback to step up into the pocket, and then he thought he saw somebody breaking open, tried a little jump pass, and I don't know, there may have been a little contact down here, but Reyna did a good job of evading the rush and then getting that pass off.
Wobbly punt over here by the Tascosa sideline. Almost looked like it was deflected as Jalen Johnson got some really good pressure. May have at least hurried the punt, and when they walk this off, they're going to mark it, it looks like, around the Lubbock High 43-yard line. That's where Tascosa is going to take over with 4:19 to go here in the second quarter.
They've had punts of 22, 31, 15, and 4. So those first 2, the 15 and the 4, were into the win, but even now with the wind at their back, just has not been a very good part of the game.
By my count, this will be the third Rebel drive out of 5 that has started in Lubbock High territory. The Rebels have needed no more than 5 plays on any of these drives as Fulton's going to drop back to pass. Looked like he wanted Creary. Now has to step up, stays on his feet as he's rolling to the left. Fulton throws against his body and almost hit one of his receivers dragging across the field. In fact, it was actually Reese Cabe who ended up just following his quarterback and gave him a little bit of a target. But that pass falls incomplete as it's 2nd down and 10.
You're right. He wanted to go to Creary over here on the right side, and the defensive back did a good job of kind of jamming him, knocked him off his route, and he wasn't able to break free. So Colton looked to run, got bottled up, extended the play.
So 2nd down and 10 here for the Rebels. Sanders in motion, handoff to the fullback. No, actually it's a pitch out to Sanders, and he's got a ton of running room. Great speed at the 25. A flag comes in from the back judge. Usually in the area of holding, especially when the Rebels run wide like that. There's actually 2 flags down over on that far sideline. We'll see if it's for the same penalty or not here.
Yeah, if it's that side judge or head linesman over there on that wide play, it's almost always a hold. And the Rebel running backs and wide receivers do a fantastic job of blocking, but there's always a lot of hand fighting going on over there.
Holding, number 9, offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of foul.
Reese is over there telling him, "Hey, here's what I did, man. I wasn't guilty."
Yeah,
it's just like there's no guilty people in prison. There's no guilty wide receiver blocking either.
Well, Gabe was the beneficiary of some great blocking on his 45-yard touchdown run earlier in the quarter, and this time he's the guilty party in this one being called back. You mentioned that pass attempt to Creary, and I've said that there were 3 players in the homecoming court. Charlie Wittenberg from special teams, Davion Woodruff from the defense. Chet Creary's the offensive player who's going to go out there. All 6'7" of them will head out there at halftime. So 2nd down and 20 now for the Rebels, back at their own 47-yard line. Here's going to be a pitch to Cabe. The Westerners do a great job stringing that out, as bringing Cabe down was number 53, Adrian Montemayor. And just like that, the Rebels have a 3rd down and long here, 3rd and 18.
Yeah, much better job on the edge that time by the Westerners of closing in on that, pursuing from the inside out, and dropped Reese for that 2-yard gain.
So we'll see what Tascosa does. We've seen a couple of pass attempts. We haven't seen that little shovel pass yet.
This is true. It'll be a good time to pull it on them. It's been very successful. A couple of different running backs.
Yeah, you've got King and Vallejo checked in, Tendrick Sargent. Now you've got whistles. I think Lubbock High may have just used their final timeout on defense, and they did. 3:05 to go in the first half. Rebels in front 28-0. We'll take a quick break and be back after this timeout on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
I was on my way home from work, and next thing I know, I just went flying up in the air. I suffered a traumatic head injury, and I suffered a spinal cord injury. Within the first 48 hours, I went to see Lynn McGraw. And without Lynn and that settlement, I would be like any other person with a brain injury. I'd be destitute. The relief of not having financial stressors is incredible.
If you've been injured in an accident, at the McCraw Law Group, we're here to help. 806-342-5900.
Speaking of the McGraw Law Group, sorry about that, one of our fantastic sponsors. We've got some other long-term sponsors we want to recognize. Bobby Doobie Motors, Beef O'Brady's, the official watch location for TPSN live streams, and Jimmy Fincher Body Shop. Once again, we thank all of our sponsors for helping us bring all these games to you on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network, News Channel 10.
Well, if you go back to last week, this is a 65-0 run for Tascosa. Between that 37-0 burst to close out the game against Coronado, and now up 28-0 here over the Lubbock High Westerners. But a long 3rd down here as the Rebel is going to run Fulton looking for that left side. If he can step out of one, he may have a chance. He gets a good downfield block by Gordon, and that's going to spring Colton Fulton for a 1st down. He gets caught up in the kicking net over on the far sideline. And fortunately, Fulton able to get up and looks fine. Kind of a scary situation over there on the track on the far side. But it is a 1st down for the Rebels all the way down to the Lubbock High 25-yard line.
Yeah, 62 yards and 5 carries for 1 touchdown so far for Colton. Man, he looked good on that one, setting up his blocks, leg inside, bouncing it back to the outside, and picked up that long 1st down.
So 1st down and 10, 3rd and 18, no problem for the senior quarterback as they send Vallejo in motion. Here's that little shovel pass to Campbell King.
No.
And he runs right into one of the Lubbock High defensive backs. Looks like number 20, Zeke De La Cerda, sophomore defensive back who was really just kind of almost a roadblock there for Campbell King and brought him down for a 2-yard gain.
I promise you when they watch this on film, they're going to teach him you ran it too wide. You've got to take that pitch almost right at the center guard hole and then cut it up inside because that guy that he ran into face-to-face was the only one out there.
There's a handoff to the senior fullback, Trayson Elliott. He gets him back on schedule here with a nice little 5-yard pickup. It's going to set up another 3rd down here for the Rebels. This next play will be the 6th play of the drive, and that makes this the longest drive for Tascosa so far tonight.
They're sloughing off already. Dadgummit.
In fact, it may take us to the 2-minute timeout here, and I think it will. So we'll take a break here. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Tascosa in front of Lubbock, 28-0 on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
Beef O'Brady's prides itself on 2 simple ideas.
A place to sit down for some good food.
And a place to catch the game with your friends.
But you know what's even better?
Our daily specials are some of the best in Amarillo.
So the next time the kids are being picky.
You want to catch the game or check out some live music.
Or you're just looking for a great happy hour with friends.
Think Beef O'Brady's.
Plus online ordering and catering available.
Beef O'Brady's, where family time meets game time.
Back here at Dick Bivens Stadium, Rebels looking to go 2-0 in district play here and off to a great start on homecoming night as they lead this 28-0. And looking for more here, but a big 3rd down. They've already converted 1 3rd down on this drive. That one was a lot more challenging, a 3rd and 18 conversion by Fulton. This one 3rd and 3. Line of scrimmage, the Lubbock High 18-yard line. Ball on the left hash. As Fulton's going to turn around, he's going to throw a little fade route. They're going to try to get Creary on the jump ball. He's got it. Touchdown, Tascosa. 3rd touchdown reception of the season for Chet Creary. And if you've got a 6'7 weapon, you better use it as the Rebels find pay dirt again. And with 1:54 to go here in this second quarter, lead at 34-0.
Well, you said it. You get man-to-man coverage against a 6'7 wide receiver, and you got a quarterback with a good arm like Colton does. Just throw it up out there and let him run under it. The one thing you don't want to do is underthrow it. You know, throw it out there to where if Chet doesn't reach it, nobody can. But what a great job of execution by the Rebels.
And if you throw it where Chet can't reach it, then more power to you. There's a flag down on this extra point. Wittenberg hits it through. Makes the score, as it stands right now, 35-0. It looks like they're going to say that Lubbock High jumped off sides. We'll see if Tascosa chooses to keep the point on the board here.
Defense. That penalty is declined. The kick is good.
So just like all things Tascosa, Wittenberg stays perfect tonight, and with 1:54 to go in the first half, it's 35-0 Rebels here on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
This is Holden at 10. No budget, no spending alerts, no shot. And this is Future Holden. When Holden was 10, Mom signed him up for Amarillo National's Student Visa debit card. That first account helped him learn about money early, smart spending, budgeting, and a cash bonus for good grades.
So, what do we use our cash rewards for?
We took Bella to prom.
It's not too late to get your own student card.
Amarillo, listen up. Amarillo Mitsubishi is turning up the heat. Get behind the wheel of a 2025 Outlander, America's most affordable SUV with third-row seating, 0% APR for 60 months. Or go sign and drive with 0 down, 0 do-it signing, 0 first month's payment. And it gets better. You're covered with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and 5 full years of roadside assistance. Plus, warranty forever comes standard. Amarillo Mitsubishi, your Mitsubishi headquarters.
Tascosa really had to struggle on that drive as it took them 6 plays this time to go 43 yards, nearly 2.5 minutes off the clock. Chet Creary hauling in an 18-yard touchdown pass from Colton Fulton. Wittenberg's kick was good again, 35-0 Tascosa.
There's another short pooch kick by Wittenberg. That one almost hits the turf. In fact, it does. The officials I heard some whistles. That may have been too soon there, unless it was a whistle coming from the crowd here.
It must have been. I don't see a flag anywhere. Anybody acting like they're going to bring it back. Boy, that was close to Tascosa taking over on the 36.
Yeah, Lubbock High probably fortunate that they recover possession of that at their own 36-yard line. Remember, they have no timeouts here in this first half. And just a minute 50 to work with. If Tascosa's feeling ambitious, they do have all three of theirs.
What did you say a minute ago? Now that's 72 consecutive points without being scored on?
37 and 35. That's 72-0, yeah, between Coronado and Lubbock High. As the Rebels have been perfect here on homecoming so far. 5 offensive series for Lubbock High so far, 4 punts and a turnover on downs. And the offense for Tascosa scored every time they touch the ball. As the Westerners run a little screen pass out to the right side, scampering out of bounds is Denzel Robbins. Minimal gain there on great pursuit by that Rebel defense.
I don't think
is there a flag down over there on the 35-yard line?
Well, he's coming walking in like there's something going. Yeah, there is, laying right on
the line.
I think it's going to be no gain, and depending on what the call is. But
it stops the clock at a minute 42.
Holding, number 84, offense, 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
And so that's going to make it first down at 20.
Goes from bad to worse for the Westerners.
Yeah, you look, their last 2 drives, in fact, 3 of their first 5 drives have lost yardage, including the last 2.
Couple more of our fantastic sponsors as we near halftime here. Aqua One and Amarillo Mitsubishi. Once again, thanks to all of our fantastic sponsors. Aqua One and Amarillo Mitsubishi helping bring these games to you on Texas Panhandle Sports Network, News Channel 10.
Clock running here as it's first down at 20. Westerners going to run a little quarterback keeper. Reyna took it away from Bo Davis, then scampered out of bounds. Davis is back in the game for Lubbock High. But the quarterback, Reyna, kept it himself, got most of the penalty yardage back, did go out of bounds with a minute 20 to go. 8-yard keeper for Reyna makes it second down and 12.
And that's one thing, Davis, he's not breaking loose at all, but he is a good decoy because you can tell they practiced all week long on bottling him up. They've held him to 24 yards on 10 carries so far, about 76 yards per half under his average.
I invite you, of course, to stick around for the Brit Care Home Medical halftime show. A minute 20 away from that here as Reyna's going to drop back to pass, floats it out to Davis. Cervantes kind of held him up, and then the cavalry gets there and forces Davis out of bounds. A huge loss as he had to wait for that pass to come down from the heavens. And it goes out of bounds. I think they actually maybe say his forward progress was stopped, and Ken Plunk's going to use a timeout to stop the clock.
Timeout. Tascosa.
They lost about 5 yards on that throw, so it's third down and 17 here, and the clock stops with a minute 9. Of course, on that Brit Care Home Medical halftime show, Mike Roden and Lance Lawnert will have their studio portion of it. And then we'll be back here at Dick Bivens. Steve West will be here. Mike Roden's in the press box with us. And he might be wearing my headset. I've got to go upstairs. I'll do the homecoming court festivities here at Dick Bivens.
Master of ceremonies. Say it correctly there.
There were 2 people on campus who knew who the king and queen were, myself and Miss Norton, the Stuco sponsor. And so it's been a tightly guarded secret between the 2 of us, and we'll get to share it with everybody at halftime.
Fantastic. It's always fun, especially when you're leading 35-0. We did a lot of games for Randall High School over the years, and at their locker room, because their colors are black and silver, they have a huge black wave painted on the wall as the players walk in. They called it the black wave of defense. They want to see anywhere from 5 to 10 players on the tackle. And that last pass where they lost 5 yards looked like a black wave. There were at least 5 Rebels that ran to the ball and were all there to help knock him out of bounds.
So third down and 17. Rebels down to 2 timeouts left. There's all kind of movement. Well, we'll see. Davion Woodruff was running in. Was he drawn off by a false start?
I think the right tackle.
False start, number 55. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Good call, Steve. Makes it third down and 22. Well, the reason why I asked, we've seen a couple where we haven't been exactly sure.
Keep in mind the right tackle 6'4", 315.
So it's hard to miss. Gotcha.
It wasn't a minute movement. It was.
So third down here and very long. Once again for the Westerners, 3rd and 22. As they wanted to run the draw, Reyna gets drilled. Cohen Phillips from his linebacker position on a blitz, unabated to the quarterback, drops him down. Another huge loss. Rebels use their second timeout with 1:02 to go in the half. And honestly, for Lubbock High, you're probably fortunate that didn't end up in a fumble and maybe a recovery for a touchdown.
Wow. I won't overuse the term jailbreak, but what a great call that was on defense as they just streamed through there and hit Reyna. I don't think he ever got the fake, finished making the fake. He was going to try to run a play-action pass, it looked like, and defense was on him before he could even get the ball out and start looking downfield.
Well, you look at the last 3 drives for Lubbock High's offense. 3 plays minus 2 yards, 3 plays minus 9 yards, and this one's going to end with 3 plays minus 21. As that Tascosa defense is flexing some muscles here in the second quarter. Remember, the Westerners have the wind at their back in this quarter. As we'll see with 1:02 and 1 timeout, if the Rebels can get something going, they get good pressure on the punt. I think they got it. As this one goes out of bounds over by the Tascosa side, there's a flag down. Now, there's going to be a question as to whether this punt was deflected or not, and we'll have to sort this one out. As it stands right now, Tascosa with an opportunity to take over in great field position once again. We'll have to sort out what this penalty is for, though. Remember, if the punt is blocked, then there is no roughing or running into, and that may be the conversation. It sure looked from up here like the Rebels got it.
Umpire and the referee are in deep conversation about it. Let's see what they decide.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Number 17, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And they say no deflection there, which is wild the way that ball came off the foot and the way that the Rebels got pressure.
That'll move the ball out around the 30-yard line and give Lubbock High an opportunity to at least run out the rest of this half.
Yeah, that ran the clock down to 55 seconds. And with just 1 timeout, the Rebels won't be able to stop it and get it back. So this drive revived here. Westerners still behind where they started this drive, as they're going to have 1st and 10 at their own 30. They started this drive at their own 36. Reyna's still in the gun with 2 receivers to either side. He's going to drop back to pass. He's got some time. He floats one right side. Fain's got it. What a diving pick by Kais Fain. There's the exclamation point on his first half, as he's been all over the field, and the Rebels wanted that ball. They got that ball at the Lubbock High 39.
Well, like I say, you had an opportunity to run out time in the first half, and you got to give them credit. You came here to play, see what you can get, see what you can make happen. But Kais Fain did look like, here you again, just goes flying through the air to make that interception at the 39-yard line.
Well, you and I both had puzzled looks. We referenced that game back in 2021 where they won that game 82-0. And we'll always remember that first play. They tested Major Everhart, and that kind of had the similar look there in terms of head scratcher. Here's a pitch, DeAndre Sanders left side. He's got running room. He cuts it in at the 20. Gets popped out of bounds at around the 10-yard line. But the Rebels taking over at the Lubbock 39 needed a chunk here, and they got 29 from DeAndre Sanders.
I tell you, the Rebels have got some speed on the outside between Reese Cabe, DeAndre Sanders, Campbell King, Vallejo, Colton keeping the ball himself, but DeAndre covers some ground. Now, when he gets the edge, he is moving fast. 1st and goal for the Rebels, right at the 10-yard line. Sanders is in motion. Here's a handoff, Sargent. No, Fulton keeps it himself. He's trying to drag some people. I think you called it earlier. We're starting to see some more of that authoritative run by Colton Fulton as Tascosa is going to take their final timeout as he got stood up at about the 3-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and goal from there with 26 seconds to go. And the thing the Rebels are going to have to navigate here is they're now out of timeouts. And if there's a play that gets stopped in the line of scrimmage, you might have to get 2 plays called here with 26 seconds left. Yeah, probably do, or make sure you throw passes. It's 2nd down, so you could literally throw 3 passes, give Colton the opportunity to pass or run, on a rollout, something like that. And I think that's what I would do with the kind of athlete he is fake it into the line, roll out, give him the opportunity to drop it off or run it in for himself. And, they can tell him, if it's not wide open for you to get in the end zone, just throw it out of the back of the end zone. We'll run 3rd down, So whatever you do, don't get tackled in the field of play.
Well, I was looking to see if big number 11 is going to go out there, and he is. If the Rebels do decide to pass, that'd be a great option here. Second down and goal. Ball right at the Lubbock High 3. It's on the left hash. Creary's lined up more as a tight end, as the Rebels do have a receiver to either side. In fact, one of them's DeAndre Sanders out here on the side nearest us. Sargent's the fullback in the backfield behind Fulton. Second down and goal. They send Cabe in motion. Fakes a pitch that way. They're looking to run it, and I said you'd be hard-pressed to overthrow Creary. It may have just been more of a shallow route than Fulton expected, as that pass falls incomplete with 21 on the clock.
Defensive back did a good job here again of not letting Creary get as deep as he wanted on that route. And, he's very tall, but he's kind of slight because of that height. And, he's going to have to learn to fight through those kind of defensive plays so he can get the depth that Colton expected him to have.
So third down and goal for the Rebels. Still no timeouts here. 21 seconds left in the first half. Now they have Creary split out wide. Fulton's going to drop back, throw a little fade. Creary's going to go up. He's got it. That's easy. Touchdown, Tascosa. Fourth receiving touchdown of the season for Creary, second of this first half. And with 15 seconds to go here in the first 24 minutes, it's now 41-0 Rebels.
All right, I got to tell you a personal story. This makes me so sad. I wanted to play tight end in high school. I'm 6'5", so I looked kind of like Creary, but the center broke his ankle the second game of our junior year, and they moved me to center. That could have been me out there. I just, wherever Gerald Combs is, our coach, I want him.
Here's Wittenberg on for the extra point, and it is good. 15 seconds to go in the first half, 42-0 Rebels. We'll be back on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
I was involved in a motor vehicle collision. I experienced neck and back pain. The pain was so severe that I had a hard time working. I was referred to McCraw by a family friend. I knew I was in good hands the moment that I spoke with them. I've never felt more taken care of. I got the treatment that I needed and am able to go back to work and pursue my education. And that is all thanks to McCraw Law Group.
If you've been injured in an accident, at the McCraw Law Group, we're here to help. 806-342-5900.
Found a car I love, so I went ahead and bought it. Ever since I did, people ask me where I got it. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. She's used, but she's a beauty. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. He sent me a lot of money, had a lot for me to choose. If you stop in, you'll be staying in too. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. Ooh, she's used, but she's a beauty. Bobby Doobie sold it to me.
Another touchdown drive for Tascosa. Steve West will recap it after this kick by Wittenberg. 15 seconds to go in the first half on what's been a perfect homecoming night for Tascosa so far. That kick, Westerners are going to throw this one backwards. It goes down at the 10. They've got to scramble to go get it. My goodness, that's an interesting decision. All the way back to the 4-yard line, as they almost tried to run their own version of the Music City Miracle there, and it was almost just a disaster for the Westerners as they fall back on it at their own 4-yard line with 8 seconds to go here in the first half.
I'll tell you, Chet Creary's starting to look like Harold Carmichael. I can hear going, I'm dating myself, but used to play for the Philadelphia Eagles, 6'7", 6'8", wide receiver. Caught a touchdown pass, his second in 2 drives from Colton Fulton, this time from 3 yards out. Wittenberg's kick was good, 42-0 Tascosa. Sounds like we're going to redo the kicks. I think I'd be watching for a trick play on the return.
They called the Rebels for offsides. And obviously it's the team's choice. And in any other situation, I would understand making them re-kick because you certainly don't want to take the ball at your own 4-yard line. But if you're Lubbock High, you've been kind of flirting with disaster. Remember, they kept the ball in the air last drive. It ended in a pick. Added another 7 to Tascosa's score. And that almost went for another 7 there on that play.
That felt like a good opportunity to take the ball on the 4-yard line and down it and go to the locker room to me. But
I mean, you could have moved the 5 yards. You could have affixed it onto that and taken over the 9 and, like you said, taken a knee. And Lubbock High is playing with fire here in the final seconds of this first half.
You know, Coach Blunt called an onside kick last week, leading by about this much. So,
yeah, as part of that manic third quarter, here's a more pooch kick by Wittenberg. This is in no man's land. Somebody's got to come get it, and the Westerners just fall on it, as finally coming up and getting it was number 3, Jose Flores. And with 6 seconds left, Lubbock High will take over at their own 28-yard line.
Well, they did pick up about 25 yards on that exchange, so yard-wise and field position-wise, it was a good move.
They always kind of write down where they start the drive. It is the 28-yard line, but that only tells about 10% of the story of what we've seen the last couple of plays.
Yeah. We need to hear the rest of the story.
You would think take the knee and take this to the locker room. Remember, Tascosa will get the second half kick after deferring when they won the opening coin toss. So see what Lubbock chooses to do. They're going to go empty backfield with 3 receivers to the right. 6 seconds to go here. Probably the final play. Neither team has a timeout. Reyna's going to drop back to pass. He's flushed to his right. Give and chase. Still give and chase. Looking to throw it downfield. Floats it. And I believe that was caught into Tascosa territory. Making a nice little catch was Denzel Robbins. But that is the final play of the first half, as the Westerners put about 20 or so yards of window dressing on that final series. But it's a perfect half of football for Tascosa. The defense pitches a shutout. The offense scores every time they touch the ball. And after 24 minutes of play, it's 42-0 Tascosa over Lubbock High here at Dick Bivens Stadium. Again, we'll have the BritCare Home Medical halftime show for you. Lance Launderd and Mike Roden will break things down in the studio. And, of course, we'll have some fun at halftime here at Dick Bivens as part of the homecoming ceremonies. I'm going to go upstairs and tell everybody who your king and queen is. And it's been a fun football game so far here for the Rebels.
If they've got chicken fried steak or barbecue up there, would you bring something for me and Mike?
Yeah, there's a little bit better food upstairs typically where the school board and dignitaries get to hang out. So I'll see what I can rustle up for everybody and see if we can't get a good meal out of this as well. If not, we'll take those Dick Bivens chili dogs as well. So halftime here at Dick Bivens, all Tascosa 42-0. And Mike Roden and Lance Launderd will have the BritCare Home Medical halftime show for you when we come back on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network and News Channel 10.
BritCare has been working to make your daily routine a little easier for over 25 years. And now you can track your blood sugar with real-time readings without the finger sticks. Stop by and speak with one of our experts about continuous glucose monitors. You can pick it up on site or get it shipped directly to your door. Plus, we will work directly with your doctor. We're here, we're local, and we'll always be there for you. BritCare Home Medical, 1800 South Coulter.
Craving fajitas? Come to Braceros Mexican Grill and Bar on 6th Street and Braceros downtown on Wednesdays to get your choice of fajitas for $13.99. Chicken, beef, shrimp, or combination, all for $13.99. Only at Braceros.
Hey Amarillo, the More to Move You sales event is on. I'm Taylor Brigette, and there's never been a better time to get behind the wheel of a new Mazda. Enjoy low monthly payments on our best-selling models. 1.9% on a 2025 Mazda CX-50 plus 90 days no payment. 1.9% on a 2025 Mazda CX-90 plus 90 days no payment. And as always, warranty forever at no extra cost. Visit us today or anytime at MazdaAmarillo.com.
Working with bees is like therapy. When I open a hive, it really does something for the soul. My full name is Charles Agar, but I go by Charlie. I'm a beekeeper and owner of Charlie Bee Company, LLC. We do all things bees and beekeeping. We are an agritourism site, so people come here to learn about bees. Thanks to Capital Farm Credit, we're able to buy our dream property, put a home on it, build our shop, start a business. And that's the kind of thing that tells me that with Capital Farm Credit, together we're better.
Hi, I'm country singer Lori Morgan, and when it comes to remodeling my bathroom, Zentex Remodeling Group hit all the right notes. Need a new bathtub or shower? Zentex of West Texas can get it done in as little as 1 day. Save $999 on your new bath or shower system or 0% interest financing. Plus a free Kohler toilet with purchase. Trust me, you'll be singing in the shower before you know it. Call 855-4ZENTEX.
And now the live high school football halftime show presented by News Channel 10 and the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
We welcome you into another edition of the BritCare Home Medical Halftime Show. Going to talk a little high school football. Here it is, week number 6. Lance rolling right along. We've got a couple of district races underway and a bunch more about to get underway here probably next week. I guess some of the teams have byes this week.
Yeah, a lot of teams. It's a big open date week. Yeah, you're right. So, but we've reached October, Mike.
Hard to believe, isn't it? It goes fast. I don't know what happened to September, but here we are. And we start off with our tip of the cap, and we've got a couple of good ones this week. So what's on your mind?
Yeah, we have a slew of wonderful quarterbacks. Colton Mills up in Dumas is one. Here in town, Deuce Reese is making a name for himself at Palo Duro. You can just go down the list. It's impressive, you know what I mean? But one of those guys is Reed Macon, and a lot has been said about West Plains. But significant night tonight. He's the senior quarterback at West Plains, and he's making his 45th career start. Now that's against the Jason Wittens, the Argyle Liberty Christian team. So we're anxious to see how this one comes out. But he has played in all 46 West Plains games. Okay, he owns a 34-10 record as a starter. Just giving you some numbers. West Plains is 12-1 in his district games, and they'll start district next week. So that's there. And then they've won 12 in a row in that district as well. And then they've won 9 regular season games in a row dating back to this Argyle game in Kimbrough. But here's the numbers, Mike. He's run for 1,159 yards and 29 touchdowns. That's his career. And tonight, he can pass the 10,000-yard mark passing. He's at 9,995 yards. Last week, he passed the 100-yard mark in touchdown passes at 102. So it's a wonderful career. I will say this. By the way, sort of thing. He starts on the basketball team, all-state pitcher, and then also runs track as well. Very few athletes go track baseball.
Yeah.
And I will say this, even though he's the first quarterback, in the history of West Plains, those records could stand for a long, long time.
It makes you wonder, will there ever be, another, because the circumstances being a new school and, young group of players starting the varsity program and all, so some of those may not ever be broken.
And I think the 45 career starts is insane.
It is.
Think of a great high school career, and you've played maybe 25, 30 high school games.
And you said it, they've never had another quarterback.
On the very first game, he did not. So he started all but one of them. In the very first game, they started another young man, and he came in at halftime, basically.
Wow. And 12-1 in district games. Good trivia question: who's the only loss to? It goes back to the first year. Seminole.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
very first district game.
That was when Seminole was in the district, or they were in this district with Seminole in Division 2.
Good memory. So, very first district game. That was who he lost to.
Wow.
Yeah.
An incredible
So
career
tip of the cap, goes to Reed Macon. Plus Mike knows him, has interviewed him. Just a class act, all the way around. He just has a good time. A lot of his buddies are playing with him, and that's what it's all about. They're like they're back in Kids Inc.
Yeah.
Trust me, when you're around or just visiting with them, it's not like, oh my gosh, here's Reed Macon. He's just one of the boys.
Yeah.
Trust me. Yeah.
I know it is really cool to see how that program, but him in particular, has led that team.
But 10,000 yards passing is a milestone mark in Texas high school football
for anybody. Any classification. Wow, that's great. Love that tip of the cap, in particular to Reed Macon and what he's done, and hopefully West Plains can keep it going, and who knows, maybe add State title. Can we say that out loud?
Well, yeah, I
his
know.
resume?
Yeah, why
Now,
not? They don't mind it. They don't mind
it's
it.
easier said than done, but you know, I think they'll be in the hunt.
Love their motto. Last year we proved everybody wrong. This year we want to prove everybody right. Like Mike just said, state title. We'll see what happens.
Well, my tip of the cap, we're going to go down to the six-man category.
Ooh, I like it. I love
six-man football. And, you know, the Miami Warriors, year in and year out, one of the better six-man programs here locally. But they're having a great season. They're undefeated. Got some love from Dave Campbell's Texas Football this week. Jumped into the top 10 at number 9 in the state. One of the reasons that Miami is so good is their two-way player, Noah Homfeld. He is an outstanding player, senior this year for the Warriors, and they're coming off a win over McLean, 88-39 was the final in that one. You know, and McLean's no slouch, so that's a big win for Miami. But Homfield had a complete game if I've ever seen one. 14 carries on the ground for 216 yards, 5 touchdowns rushing. You know, you can stop right there. It'd be a great night.
Great night.
But he also had 3 catches for 96 yards and 1 touchdown. And so that's 312 all-purpose yards with 6 scores overall. And he plays defensive back. He had 7 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 fumble recovery on the night. So pretty good all-around performance. Definitely one of the top performances for Week 5 in any classification around this area. So hats off to Noah Homfeld and the Miami Warriors.
Yeah, I love that. And Miami is one of our 4 undefeated teams remaining as we get to Week 6. By the way, Miami, and Mike knows this as well, they have this awesome setting. If you can ever get up to a 6-man game, I suggest just go to the setting alone. It's on the plateau, and you don't think you're in the Panhandle.
Yeah,
I'm just going to tell you,
it looks different really than almost any stadium you can think.
Totally
of.
agree. Just where it's set in the back against the rocks and all that. So
love that.
I love that as well. So yeah, congratulations. Those 6-man numbers can get insane, but look what he did. He's not even the quarterback or the featured running, but it's amazing what he can do.
Well, and people say, well, how it gets skewed, it's 6-man football. Well, whether it is or not, you still got to put up the numbers, and those are incredible numbers.
Yeah,
so.
And by the way, Miami with Holy Cross is expected to play tonight. They've had a couple of weeks off because of the numbers game. Hit them pretty hard, but as we understand it, Miami and Holy Cross are expected to play tonight.
All right, we'll see how the Warriors do in that one. Let's take our first break. We'll come back and kind of glance around the area and what's happening here in Week 6 as we continue on the BritCare Home Medical Halftime Show on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network and News Channel 10.
I found a car I love, so I went ahead and bought it. Ever since I did, people ask me where I got it. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. She's used, but she's a beauty. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. He sent me a lot of money, had a lot for me to choose. If you stop in, you'll be saying it too. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. Bobby Doobie sold it to me. Ooh, she's used, but she's a beauty. Bobby Doobie sold it to me.
You've got enough going on. Worrying about drinking water shouldn't be one. Get Aqua One premium water delivered. 5-gallon bottles are by the case. Stay safe. We'll deliver to your home with no contact front door delivery. Aqua One uses ozone filtration to provide the best and safest drinking water. By the case or by 5-gallon bottle to your front door with no contact delivery. Stay home. Stay safe. Order online at drinkaquaone.com or call Aqua One for delivery.
TPSN and Beef O'Brady's are teaming up to bring you the best local high school sports viewing experience around. This fall, catch over 200 local games on the big screen from the Texas Panhandle Sports Network's official watch location, Beef O'Brady's. And Beef O'Brady's has you covered with amazing daily specials, a great happy hour, and plenty of big screens, so you don't miss a second of the game. TPSN and Beef O'Brady's, your #1 source for local high school sports. With the News Channel 10 First Alert weather app, you'll be ready for whatever weather the Panhandle throws at you. Hail, tornadoes, snow, heat. Prep for all of them with the latest information from the First Alert weather team.
Skies are just completely clear. It's all about the wind today, southwest.
Live video streams and real-time alerts when severe weather is in your area. Watch, follow, and track with us. Scan the QR code and download the News Channel 10 First Alert weather app today.
Hi, I'm country singer Lori Morgan, and when it comes to remodeling my bathroom, I trust Zentex Remodeling Group. As a family-owned and operated business right here in West Texas, Zentex installs bathtubs, showers, and accessibility systems all in as little as one day.
Save $999 on your new bath or shower system
or 0% interest financing.
Plus a free Kohler toilet with purchase.
Call 855-4ZENTEX.
As we continue here on our BritCare Home Medical Halftime Show, before we go back to football, let's talk a little bit, Lance, about what's on tap this week here, week number 6. And, last week we got district play started both in 2-5A Division I and 2-5A Division II. And great win out of the box for Amarillo High and for Tascosa to both get off to good starts last week. Now they turn their attention to this week and what's going to happen there.
Yeah, Amarillo High got a really nice win over a Monterey team, kind of the wild card team of that district, with Jason Sims, his first year there as the head coach. We don't know quite what they're going to be about yet. We'll figure that out eventually. And then Tascosa against a winless Lubbock High. Yeah. I mean, it's 28-28 at half, and everybody's like, what?
Everybody's saying, I don't think that's right.
Yeah,
that can't be right. But
and then Tascosa pours on 37 points in the third quarter alone. That's the most points ever scored in the history of Tascosa in the third quarter. It's the third most ever in a quarter. But 37 points, I mean, that's insane in 12 minutes. Pulled out that win, nice win. And obviously, they're home tonight with homecoming. Big crowd. Lubbock High's in the house. Lubbock High, they have that reputation. They do struggle in the football because of numbers to really be successful. And they come in, but they also have Bo Davis, Mike. And he's averaging 200 yards a game rushing. So they're going to have to strap it on. This is the 47th time these two have met. But Tascosa's defense, I think, woke up in that first half. And give Coach Point credit. He really complimented Coronado like, we weren't playing that bad.
Right.
Everybody looks at it on film and you're like, okay, Coronado did some nice things.
They make some plays. Yeah.
They need to establish themselves early against Lubbock High. And then it's a corny joke, but AHS will win tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Abilene High versus Amarillo High. Long road trip for the Sandies. Abilene High entered the season, Mike, as we know real quick, as the district favorite. Amarillo High definitely with some injury issues. Oliver Parsons hadn't played the last couple of weeks, a game and a half now. But they're raring to go. This is a game we pointed to back in August. This is going to have a real impact on this district race and for a district title.
It is going to be a big one for sure. And, we talk about district Division II and 2-5A Division II, and that opened some eyes with, Don's got to sit back and watch last week, and I know even them had to say, whoa, this is some surprising results.
Yeah, Lubbock Cooper and Memorial, probably the two favorites, even over Paladuro. Maybe not after non-district, but both lose
on the opening week.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
You're like, what's going on in that district? But Paladuro will be at Memorial.
Big game.
What a game. Memorial wants no part of being 0-2. Paladuro wants to get that first notch in district and say, we are legit.
Yeah. And that's, you go on the road, and that's tough enough right there. But to play a team that's probably kind of ticked off after last week, well, you better be ready to play.
Yeah, Abilene Cooper, 42-29. You're like looking around. And then down in Plainview, Seth did his thing against Cooper, and you're like, okay.
Seth Mayberry is a great player.
Four-year starter down there. Love the kid. And but you know what? Look for that district to be that crazy night in and night out, if that's what happened on opening night.
And Abilene Cooper plays at Abilene Wiley, which is going to be a big showdown there.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Plainview has the open date in that district this week. And then speaking of open dates, Canyon, Randall, and let's see, I guess that's all in, and Dumas is open, and Pampa all open in 4A Division I in that district. And, the only team playing, West Plains, and boy, do they have an opponent. They get to make, speaking of long road trips.
Oh, yeah. We mentioned earlier Liberty Christian, Argyle. It's the Jason Witten coach team. By the way, this team's 2-2. Now, they lost to Anna, and they lost to Texarkana, Texas, okay?
Right.
Like 95% of the teams, and I'll include a lot of the 6As, but 5A down, 95% of the teams in Texas would be 0-2 after playing those two teams. And now they've bounced back with a couple of wins. By the way, his son, Witten's son, is on this team, okay?
And he's good.
And he's very good. He is a tight end. Everybody's after him. He's just a junior. Cooper Witten is his name. 34 catches, 603 yards, 11 touchdowns from that position is a crazy number. So here's the deal. West Plains wants respect. They got whipped last year.
Definitely.
This game means more to West Plains, though, than Argyle.
It's not your typical run-of-the-mill non-district game.
It is not,
no,
especially for West Plains.
Yeah.
Argyle, they're playing the Annas. They're in the Metroplex. Some teams,
two-time defending state champion in their TAPS division.
There you go. And so somebody's coming from the 806. It's not as important to those guys. Right. So we can see something. We could see maybe the big upset bug tonight. I'm just saying. By the way, Mike, West Plains is one of the 4 undefeated teams playing tonight. Real quick, Canadian is also undefeated there at Shallow Water. West Texas, Jeff Smith is getting it done there. They're 5-0. They are open tonight as well. And then we mentioned Miami. We're expected that game with Holy Cross tonight.
And just a few others of note this week. We don't really have time to go in depth talking about them, but Perryton and Bushland, I think that'll be entertaining for sure. Canadian and Shallow Water, 2 very prominent programs in the Panhandle and South Plains. How about those Dimmitt Bobcats? They get a good test at Slayton, which is ranked 22nd in the state.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's going to be a biggie. Stratford and Childress, again, 2 of the most prominent programs around. And then kind of a rivalry, Follett and Booker going at it. And those are, 22 miles apart, something like that?
And as north as it gets in the state of Texas.
As north as it gets.
That is a great trivia question. Where the heck is Follett? You could win a lot of bets.
It's just, east of Booker. That tells you.
8 miles from the border, you know what I mean? So,
That is crazy. Yeah, way up there in the top of the Panhandle.
But it means the world to those 2 towns.
It does.
It's bragging rights.
It's close proximity, so that always makes for a fun rivalry. So we'll see what happens in those. Right now, we want to get you back out to your game. That'll do it for this week's edition of the BritCare Home Medical Halftime Show. We'll be back next week on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network and News Channel 10.
Cracks in walls? Sticking doors? Panhandle Foundation Repair provides a lifetime transferable warranty on your foundation repair. As long as the house is around, the owner and foundation are covered. Call Panhandle Foundation Repair for the best foundation repair warranty in the business. 373-4000. Panhandle Foundation Repair is the choice when it comes to your home's foundation because of their lifetime transferable warranty on foundation repair. 373-4000.
We take the stress out of collision repair. Jimmy Fincher Body Shop, the people who care. Make us your very first call. Cause at Jimmy Fincher we do it all. We fix it right, guaranteed. We don't cut corners, we do quality. Just as good as new, that's what we do. Jimmy Fincher Body Shop.
Amarillo, listen up. Amarillo Mitsubishi is turning up the heat. Get behind the wheel of a 2025 Outlander, America's most affordable SUV with third-row seating, 0% APR for 60 months. Or go sign and drive with 0 down, 0 due at signing, 0 first month's payment. And it gets better. You're covered with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and 5 full years of roadside assistance. Plus, warranty forever comes standard. Amarillo Mitsubishi, your Mitsubishi headquarters.
With more than 30 years of experience, we at Dawkins Overhead Doors take pride in our same-day installation and repair services, and we work to get you the best door for your needs. Dawkins also offers MyQ-compatible doors to help you monitor and open or close your garage whenever, wherever, right from your mobile device. From commercial to private, we're able to install or repair your garage doors no matter the size or style. Give us a call. Dawkins Overhead Doors has you covered.
Well, we welcome you back to Dick Bivens Stadium. It is halftime of our contest here between the Tascosa Rebels and the Lubbock High Westerners, and it's all Tascosa here at the break, 42-0. As you see the Rebel Band out on the field performing their show that I guess they'll be performing here tomorrow. There's a big marching
extravaganza coming up here at Dick Bivens Stadium tomorrow. So all the bands that will be participating in that, getting their final tune-ups tonight, just like the football teams do. They work out early and late and go through all their routine to get their marching program down. And now it's time to put on the showcase tomorrow here at Dick Bivens Stadium. But, boy, speaking of putting on a show, the Tascosa Rebels have done that here in the first half as they have dominated play 42-0. Adam Cox, by the way, is in this chair normally. He's upstairs right now on the 4th floor of Dick Bivens Stadium as he is kind of manning the PA for the crowning of the homecoming king and queen, and that will be coming up here shortly as well here at Dick Bivens. But in the meantime, Steve West compiling the stats of the first half. There were plenty to compile for the Rebels as they looked good from the get-go in this one. Lubbock High moved the ball well on their first series of downs offensively, and then it was kind of downhill the rest of the way, courtesy of the Rebels' defense. Let's go over some other scores real quick, and then Steve will let you come in with those stats. One score that a lot of people are interested in is the West Plains Wolves game with Argyle Liberty Christian. This one was at Happy State Bank Stadium a year ago, and it was a 56-7 whipping by Argyle Liberty Christian. Not the case this year, as West Plains is playing with this two-time defending TAP state champion Liberty Christian team. 25-22 is the score early in the fourth quarter, with Liberty Christian leading West Plains. So that one is going to be a good one down the stretch. Also, we can tell you that the Amarillo Sandies continue to play well down in Abilene. They have just started the third quarter, and the Sandies lead that one 21-7. So good so far for Amarillo High as they take on Abilene High down in Abilene this evening at Shotwell Stadium. Also, good news for the Paladuro Dons as they lead at halftime down in Wichita Falls against the Memorial Mavericks 28-6. And that would be a tremendous start to district play for Paladuro if they could beat a team that went into last week's game undefeated before they were upset in their district opener. And now the Mavericks steering 0-2 in the face if Paladuro can hang on and play well in that second half. But 28-6 at half, Paladuro leading the Memorial Mavericks down in Wichita Falls. And let's see, get you a few other ones here. Lubbock Cooper in that same district as Paladuro leading Wichita Falls Legacy 35-6, no problem there. And also, as we scroll on down the list, we can, thought we had another couple of scores we could pass along here, but don't see the ones I was looking for right now. But again, here it's 42-0, and Steve, well, as you and Adam have called it, it has been very impressive for Tascosa, starting with the third quarter last week on into the first half of this one.
Yeah, 37 consecutive points last week, 42, so we're up to 79 points scored without giving up a point on the Tascosa defense. And as you would expect, leading 42-0, the statistics bear all that out as the Rebels rolled up 234 yards rushing, 13.7 yards per carry average, 3 touchdowns. Colton Fulton had 69 yards and a touchdown. Reese Cade, 47 and a touchdown. Tendrick Sargent, 15 and a touchdown. Trayson Elliott, 4 carries, 48 yards from the fullback position. DeAndre Sanders, 2 for 36. Cameron Vallejo, 1 for 19. And then in the passing game, Colton Fulton, 5 of 7, 75 yards and 3 touchdowns, with Chet Creary, the 6'7" wide receiver, slot receiver type, catching 2 touchdown passes, and David Gordon catching 1. So 309 total yards of offense in the first half, as the offense, I don't think they ever went more than 6 plays on a drive, and 3 of their drives were less than a minute. Just a very high-powered, hitting on all cylinders, up the middle, hitting the pitch, Colton Fulton keeping it himself, and then the 3 touchdown passes, which is just unheard of for the Rebels in this flex bone offense.
Yeah.
3 touchdown passes in one half is just something you don't experience.
And that's the thing, is that this team can throw the ball this season. I know they've tried to develop that passing game in years past, but they definitely have some weapons in the passing game this year, which is sure a great compliment to that great running attack.
It just opens up a whole new facet of the offense. And I tell you something that they've interjected into the offense this year, it's made a big difference, is that little shovel pass. Reese Cabe especially has benefited from that as they drop, Play fake up the middle, drop back. Reese Cade comes around and he shovels it to him in the middle. Very, very safe play because if he drops it, it's a pass. It's incomplete. And but he's had some big gainers and a touchdown on that play. They ran it one time tonight. It wasn't to Reese. Ran it a little wide and ran right into the defensive coverage. But they've interjected some new plays into the offense and really looking strong. But man, I'm excited about some of these scores that you've given us. Amarillo High looking to win their second big game after beating Monterey last week, leading Abilene High tonight. Those are two of the heavyweights that you've got to beat to try to get in those top two positions going into the playoffs. So the Sandys are looking good. Paladuro coming off that big win against Amarillo High School, now leading Wichita Falls Memorial, which is the heavyweight out of that North Texas area in this district for sure. So kudos to the Sandys and the Dons out there on the road making it happen.
Yeah, that's not easy to do, is to go on the road, especially, Memorial lost last week. You knew they were going to be in a foul mood, welcoming in PD. But the Dons, as you and Adam talked about in the first half, they are for real. They've got some talent for sure, and they are putting it all together under head coach Eric Mims and his staff, and that is great to see. So it would be a tremendous feather in the cap of the Dons to be able to win that district opener, especially against a team like Memorial, which was undefeated, 4-0 going into last week's game. Before they lost that one, and now still struggling this week. And yeah, the Sandys, again, they've been really good at times, but they've struggled at other times. And to go on the road in Abilene, a 4.5-5 hour trip down to Abilene, and be able to put together a first half. Phil Woodall told me that Abilene only had something like 113 yards of total offense in the first half. So Amarillo High getting it done on both sides of the ball, kind of like we see from Tascosa here tonight.
Yeah, great job. And you know what's interesting in that I guess 5A Division II district, Lubbock Cooper got upset last week by Plainview, one of the biggest upsets of the week. My father-in-law coaches in Plainview.
Yeah.
He's kind of the mascot. He's been around there for like 50 years. But talked to him, and he said, we knocked the quarterback out in the first quarter, but he said they were up 16 points when that happened.
Oh, wow.
So Plainview was up on them a couple of touchdowns before the quarterback ever went out. He went out with concussion protocol, evidently, so we were curious if he was going to play tonight. Did you say you had a score for Cooper?
I did.
Cooper?
Yeah, they're playing Legacy, and Legacy is not the strongest of teams. They went winless last year, but it was pretty much all Lubbock Cooper in that one so far.
And their quarterback is a fantastic player, so certainly hope that he was able to come out of the concussion protocol healthy, able to play tonight, and that's not going to have any impact. But they've got a loss. If Memorial picks up a loss, that's going to turn that district upside down from what people predicted in a hurry.
Yeah, and another score in that same district, and I'm frantically looking for it here, was Abilene Cooper playing tonight against Abilene Wiley, and they both opened up district play with wins last week. Cooper was the one that stunned Memorial, and Abilene Wiley won over Legacy last week, and I think they were, if I remember right, they were tied up, or it was very close between those two. So it's really up for grabs. Paladuro's got a great chance, I think, in that district race to definitely get in the playoffs, which they did not do last year, but to even battle for that district title. So.
Oh yeah, with Deuce Reese, Darian Lewis, the wide receiver, is going to UTEP? Is that correct? Or to
Darian Lewis is going to North Carolina.
Right, but then they've got the wide receiver defensive back.
Vern Blair?
UNLV.
Blair,
yes, going to UNLV.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got some weapons. And here again, this comparative analysis that we do, it makes that 10-0 win by Tascosa in the first game of the year look much stronger.
Definitely.
And then it makes Amarillo High, Paladuro beat Amarillo High a couple of weeks ago, and now Amarillo High's come out and beat two of the heavyweights in 5A Division I, and now Paladuro going down and having a good showing in Wichita Falls. So really looking good for the AISD teams. West Plains out of Canyon ISD playing a very strong Liberty Christian team. I broadcast that game last year at Kimbrough, and it was not a fun game with Jason Witten over there and his kids on the team and some fantastic Division I athletes. So it'll be interesting to see how that game turns out.
Updated score on that game, Liberty Christian, well, they've both scored again. Liberty Christian leading 32-22 now in the fourth quarter. So that's I hope West Plains still has time to be able to come back in that one. But playing the two-time defending state champions, and the number 2 ranked team in the state this year, Liberty Christian. Little misleading 2-2 record going into that contest, but playing them at home, that's tough. But West Plains definitely holding their own in that one.
Are there not some fantastic quarterbacks in this part of the state this year?
It is amazing.
We've got to mention Reed Macon, a 4-year starter at West Plains.
Yeah.
First time they ever opened the doors, he's a freshman starting quarterback, and he's in year 4. And Coach Cummings is always saying, you guys don't understand, we've got the best football player in the state of Texas at our school. And he is so high on him. And maybe because they've just been so consistent, I don't know, but went all the way. I mean, they were 15 seconds away from going to the state championship last year in that Salina game, so if they go that far this year, I'm going to go as an unpaid statistician with Rivera and Kinsey. Okay,
I may tag along as well.
Because that was a heck of a ball game.
Yeah.
But, besides that, you've got Colton Fulton, you got Deuce Reese, Braxton Robinson at Panhandle. Who else is out there? Groover's got a fantastic quarterback.
Cooper Schilling up at Perryton.
Plainview's got an incredible
Seth Mayberry,
quarterback. And so there are some unbelievable quarterbacks in this Panhandle region. And, boy, we appreciate y'all listening to us on the radio and all that stuff. But if you get an opportunity, go out and watch one of these teams. You will not be sorry, because there are some fantastic talent around here.
Well, Adam will fill us in on who is being crowned homecoming king and queen down at on the field here at homecoming for Tascosa. They lead at 42-0, by the way, here at the break over Lubbock High. And we see the celebration going on as those two are announced. I know Tristan won the homecoming king. He's has went to school with my son for years, as did Trayson Elliott and Kais Fain. And Tristan was named the homecoming king, and Adam will fill us in on all that. But, it's been a fun homecoming week for Tascosa. Since my son goes there, Steve, I'm part of it, and we went to the homecoming parade on Wednesday over in Wolfland, and they do a great job with the parade. I wasn't sure what to expect when Avery first started at Tascosa, but man, they go all out for the parade and other homecoming activities and really make it fun for the kids. All the feeder schools get involved. Right. They all have floats, it's really fun to watch. They did a great job with the parade, and now wrapping things up here at halftime of with the crowning of the king and the queen. And, it sure doesn't hurt when you're leading your homecoming game 42-0.
I'm telling you, there's no saying that everything is better on the high school campus when your football team is playing well. But just look out here at this crowd. I mean, the Tascosa stands are jam-packed full. And so it's a beautiful autumn night out here on the high plains like this, and thousands of people in the stands. Had a 42-0 halftime lead, but the bells, the band, everybody is just having a great evening, and couldn't be happier for the Tascosa Rebels. And just keep it rolling this second half. They're open next week, so they get an opportunity to kind of get some of those aches and bruises taken care of, and regroup and get their legs back under them, and then they'll head into the meat of that schedule where they're going to have to play Monterey, Abilene High, Amarillo High School, along with Caprock in those last 4 games in that drive towards the playoffs.
Well, I'll tell you what, Adam is back in the booth, so we will turn it over to him. We'll take a quick timeout and come back, and Adam Cox and Steve West will take you through the second half as Tascosa leads it here at homecoming for 2025, 42-0, your halftime score. The Rebels over the Westerners. Back after this on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network and News Channel 10.
Sinking driveway? Call Legacy Support Works. Settling patio? Call Legacy Support Works. Uneven pool deck? Call Legacy Support Works. Collapsing stoop? Call Legacy Support Works. Cracking sidewalk? That's right, call Legacy Support Works.
Foundation repair doesn't get better with time. It gets better with Legacy Support Works.
Call Legacy Support Works today.
All right, welcome back to Dick Bivens Stadium. Homecoming night here, as the Tascosa Rebels leading the Lubbock High Westerners by a score of 42-0 here on homecoming night. I'm Adam Cox with Steve West. Thanks, Mike Roden, for grabbing the headset while I got the honor. It really is a cool honor. Steve, you worked in education and worked with these kids. And one of the things I love about high school, and especially high school football, is and if anybody's just tuning in because you want to watch the game and follow the scores and follow the results, that's great. But it really, in so many ways, is a celebration of the whole school.
The whole community.
It really is. And so you get a chance to celebrate your bands out here. We saw the Rebel Choir singing the anthem, cheerleaders, Tascosa Bells, who were in the Macy's parade a couple years ago performing at halftime.
And one of the bells was, well, I don't want to steal your thunder.
She was. No, she was.
We weren't talking about that during the game. We were going to let you spill those beans, but what's her name?
Ryan Campbell, who's just a genuinely great person, and she's one of the Tascosa Bell captains. And then Tristan Dowd, who I've had the pleasure of being his math teacher now for my 3rd year here during his senior year. I told Mike Roden I've got some gray hairs I've named after Tristan. But he is a great kid, a great personality.
If you can say gray hairs with a smile on your face, that's the kind of kid you remember for years.
No, I'll remember Tristan for a long time. He's a member of the Rebel Regiment, and that always is a strong voting block when it comes to homecoming. Yes. The band is. He's also a great theater kid. He's going to be Beetlejuice in their upcoming production.
Oh, there you go.
Which is a great role for him.
As long as you don't say it 3 times, we're good.
And then last year when they did Shrek the Musical, he played the role of Donkey. And that's perfect too. And so that was a lot of fun. He was so fantastic in that play and is going to do a great job as Beetlejuice as well. So when that comes out, we'll see if I can get some dates before we hop off here. But it is worth going out and seeing that Tascosa theater crew. Jackie Collum, the theater director there at Tascosa, does a great job. And now we are ready for football. It's a quick turnaround on halftime.
Tascosa rolled up over 300 yards of offense that first half, so we'll see what happens here in the second half.
Well, we're going to see a kickoff return for the first time as Cabe fields it on a skip bounce at about the 8-yard line, has some running room as he works the middle of the field, steps out of a couple of tackles. Now he gets a caravan down the left side. Reese Cabe looks to keep the second half fireworks going. He will, as he's going to take it 92 yards for a touchdown. 20 seconds run off the clock before the Rebels strike here early and often as Reese Cabe takes it in from 92 yards out. Thanks, Reese, for letting me catch my breath.
I thought they had him 3 different times. I mean, he literally just ran through their tackles with his drive and his speed. And we've got some kind of conversation going on down here about the 35-yard line.
On the return, illegal block in the back, number 40.
Oh, that's going to take it off the board.
10-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess, where the penalty occurred. It may have occurred, it looks like kind of where they're standing.
About the 35?
Yeah, it was about where he picked up that caravan of blockers, and maybe somebody, it probably at that point was unnecessary in terms of a block behind or a block in the back. So the Rebels are going to have great field position at the very least. Take Reese Cabe's special teams touchdown off the board. And the Rebels are going to start off at the Lubbock High 45-yard line after they march off the penalty.
That doesn't negate the fact that it was a fantastic run back by Reese Cabe and some really good blocks along the way.
Got some great notes from Bill Bristow as always. That 42-point first half, the most the Rebels have scored since 2023 in the first half. They did that against the Caprock Longhorns.
Bill is the man with the stats. He is fantastic.
So now we'll see the Rebels take over. 1st and 10. It is going to be the starting offense as here's a handoff to the fullback, and running through for a first down is Tendrick Sargent as he picks up 14 yards and a first down for the Rebels down to the 31.
I don't know if you saw that little attitude at the end of that run. He was, if he wanted to, he might have been able to sidestep and go for a few more yards, but the strong safety bellied up to him, and Tendrick just lowered his shoulder and tried to run over him.
So ball right in the middle of the field at the Lubbock High 31. Again, a handoff to the fullback, and this time it's going to get stood up nicely by that Lubbock High defensive front. It was Sargent once again. Maybe a gain of a yard there. And it's going to be 2nd down and 9 at the 30-yard line.
Like I say, still got the starters in there with a 42-0 lead. Once again, the conventional wisdom, let them come out and play one series at least. Get them used to going in the locker room, staying focused, and coming out on the field ready to play.
It's another handoff. This time Trayson Elliott's checked in, and the Westerners do a good job piling him up for maybe a gain of a yard, as making the tackle was Octavius Ruiz, a senior defensive lineman. So back-to-back 1-yard carries by the fullback have it 3rd and 8. And that point you made about one offensive series, as Cabe was running that back, that was kind of going through my mind was, what do you do with the offense? Because that was your one possession in theory. We'll see, though, 3rd down and 8. They've got to get to the Lubbock 21-yard line. Here's Elliott. He's got running room for days as he gets to the second level untouched. Finally drugged down inside the 15-yard line, all the way at the, let's see, they're going to call it the 12. So 19-yard run for Elliott, and I'm going to see when he was touched for the first time. It was about the 15-yard line.
Fantastic blocking up front. You got those guys in the middle, Aaron Ferris, Sebastian Arenavar, Mason Munoz from guard to guard. And, they run that, cross-blocking, trap blocking, or double team. A lot of different things they can do up there. But when they get 5, 6, 7 yards deep without getting touched, that's all offensive line there.
Rebels have had some good success on 3rd downs here on this drive as they're going to hand off to the fullback. And somehow breaking out of a tackle is Sargent. Well, I thought he was going to fight his way all the way to the end zone. Instead, he's going to be about a yard short of the line to gain for a first down. Great job by Sargent. You could see him running out of an arm tackle, and then just Westerners grabbing on for dear life. And quite frankly, we see this all the time with Tascosa. It's already kind of an overmatched defense, and this is not an offense you want to go up against because they just wear on you like that.
Just wear you down. And that, we mentioned it earlier, that end zone fever, man. Tendrick wanted to put that thing in the end zone so bad.
6th play of the drive here, 2nd down and 1 for the Rebels. They're going to turn around, handoff, fullback. Sargent walks in, touchdown Tascosa. As Tendrick Sargent takes it in from 3 yards out, his 2nd touchdown run of the game. And with 9:03 to go in the 3rd quarter, the Rebels now make it 48-0.
That's, it's a dispirited defense on the Lubbock High side. And Plunk made a good comment in his Wednesday luncheon, that 28-28, Lubbock Coronado had some hope. He said, we came out, got a stop, got the interception returned, and everything started snowballing and took away the hope. And when you lose hope and you're just playing to get the game over with, that's when things can really get out of hand.
Well, and especially when one team's having a party over there as Wittenberg knocks through the extra point. It's 49-0 Rebels on homecoming night. We'll be back after this timeout on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network and News Channel 10.
You've got enough going on. Worrying about drinking water shouldn't be one. Get Aqua One premium water delivered. 5-gallon bottles are by the case. Stay safe. We'll deliver to your home with no contact front door delivery. Aqua One uses ozone filtration to provide the best and safest drinking water. By the case or by 5-gallon bottle to your front door with no contact delivery. Stay home. Stay safe. Order online at drinkaquaone.com or call Aqua One for delivery.
Sinking driveway? Call Legacy Support Works. Settling patio? Call Legacy Support Works. Uneven pool deck? Call Legacy Support Works. Collapsing stoop? Call Legacy Support Works. Cracking sidewalk? That's right. Call Legacy Support Works.
Foundation repair doesn't get better with time. It gets better with Legacy Support Works.
Call Legacy Support Works today.
The kickoff return was called back, but that didn't matter as Tascosa took it 6 plays, 45 yards, 2.5 minutes off the clock. Tendrick Sargent took it in from 3 yards out for the touchdown. Kick was good, 49-0 Tascosa.
There's going to be a returnable kick for the Westerners as they fielded at about the own 11-yard line, and then doing some lateral running before turning it up the field was Anthony Boyd. Gets it out to his own 21-yard line, and that's where Lubbock High is going to take over. Their offensive series in the first half, Steve: punt, turnover on downs, punt, interception, and then the end of the half.
Mercy. Hey, 3 or 4 years ago, we got a great text from Daniel Coward, who was listening to our game like at 8 o'clock in the morning in Seoul, South Korea. I just got another one that said, y'all sound just as good here in the middle of the Caribbean as you do at home. Bob Daniel, the old principal at Tascosa High School, they're on a cruise to ABC, Aruba, whatever, all that kind of stuff. So, Bob, appreciate you listening. I told him to celebrate for me. Take that for what you want it to mean.
First down and 10. Well, if you're in the Caribbean, I can imagine. So
Absolutely.
First down and 10.
Live it up, man.
For Lubbock High at their own 21-yard line. As we'll see what they elect to do here. We saw them very deliberate in the first half, trying to shorten the game. And then as it kind of spiraled, kind of fell out of that. Here's going to be a little handoff, and then spinning out of a tackle is Davis. This may hurt him, though. Well, I say that. What a run. This is going to be one of the more impressive runs for maybe a yard. As Bo Davis spun out of a tackle about 5 or 6 yards in the backfield. There's a Rebel player down on the far sideline. And we're going to go ahead and just, I think, take a break here, as that injury may take a little bit to attend to. So we're going to go ahead and take a break here. Rebels leading it, 8:40 to go in the third quarter by a score of 49-0. Well, I say that. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break here, as the Rebels enjoying homecoming with a 49-0 lead on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
Hey Amarillo, the More to Move You sales event is on. I'm Taylor Brigette, and there's never been a better time to get behind the wheel of a new Mazda. Enjoy low monthly payments on our best-selling models. 1.9% on a 2025 Mazda CX-50 plus 90 days no payment. 1.9% on a 2025 Mazda CX-90 plus 90 days no payment. And as always, warranty forever at no extra cost. Visit us today or anytime at MazdaAmarillo.com.
We take the stress out of collision repair. Jimmy Fincher Body Shop, the people who care. Make us your very first call. 'Cause at Jimmy Fincher we do it all. We fix it right, guaranteed. We don't cut corners, we do quality. Just as good as new, that's what we do. Jimmy Fincher Body Shop.
Well, the good news, the injured Rebel player was able to walk off under his own power. And also good news, they're about to push Lubbock High 5 yards back as the receivers over on the far sideline jumped out early.
False start there. Hey, start 'em young. Amarillo National Bank Student Visa Debit Card offers real-world money skills, parent-approved spending, financial know-how, and yes, a cash bonus for good grades. Amarillo National Bank Student Visa Debit Card.
Fascinating game at Shotwell Stadium between the Sandies and the Eagles. That's one of those big district games. Tascosa is getting involved in several of those in the month of October. And in the fourth quarter, it's 21-21 between Amarillo High and Abilene. So definitely keep an eye on that here as we make our way through our second half here at Bivens. There's going to be a little screen pass. Westerners try to hit it out to the far sideline. Denzel Robbins makes the catch and then gets escorted out of bounds. Kind of helping him get out of bounds there was Arion Kelly. And then kind of got back to the original line of scrimmage. Got the penalty yardage back at least. It's going to be 3rd down and 10, though, for the Westerners.
Yeah, it's 3 catches for Denzel Robbins. He's their leading receiver coming into the game, so they've done a great job with him along with everybody else of keeping them bottled up.
Lubbock Monterey comfortably in front of Lubbock Coronado in the fourth quarter at Lowry Field, 42-7. And with 2 games kind of in hand, we can give you at least a little bit of a preview of what the district standings might look like. As Reyna's flush somehow spins out of it as he rolls to his left, trying to direct traffic, then takes a shot and goes down. All of that for no gain. As we saw Reyna running for his life, he's been an effective scrambler. You could see him get out of a tackle. Sam Adams had him at about the 7 or 8, and then finally Jalen Johnson cut him down at the line of scrimmage. That's a lot of effort for no gain there by the senior quarterback.
That's a 5-yard loss. Didn't that start at the 26?
No, that was where it was at the 21. They had that penalty yardage kind of affected things where it was.
Steve, stay on.
So it's a 3 and out for Lubbock High. And the only first down, if you look, 1, 2, 3, 4, the last 5 drives for Lubbock High, they've had 1 first down, and that was a roughing the punter penalty. As Tascosa gets good pressure here. This punt does get away. Cabe fields it at his own 49-yard line. He had a kickoff return called back, looking for a punt return, and they just hold on for dear life. Was number 23, J.D. Morton. And they get Cabe to the ground, but not before he takes it to the Westerner 33-yard line. That's where the Rebels are going to take over, up 49-0 here with 6:20 to go in the third quarter.
Rebels once again get fantastic field position on the 33-yard line, already leading 49-0. We'll see if they start making wholesale substitutions here, if they keep the starters in. I think I see Colton Fulton in the middle of the huddle. I do.
Yeah, he's going to go out there at least for one more drive.
Yeah.
Looks like
Trayson
Campbell,
Elliott,
King,
fullback.
Yeah, King and Sanders are going to be the tailbacks. Trayson Elliott, who was not in on that drive previously, goes out at the fullback position. So 1st down and 10 at the Lubbock High 33-yard line. Fulton's going to drop back now. There's that shovel to Sanders. Great job by the Westerners reading that as making the tackle was number 22, Jackson English. They had to have seen that play on film. Great recognition by English, because that's been a great play for Tascosa this season.
Yeah, they've run it twice tonight, and it's been stuff for no gain both times. So like you say, film study, and they've got certain player, if they start running, if they send this man in motion, there's a couple of things to look for. So good job defensively by the Westerners.
Second down and 10 here with the ball on the left hash. Fulton under center, going to hand off. Now runs the option to the right side, pitches it out. Nice little run by Campbell King as a flag comes down here on the near sideline. As it stands, it would be a first down run of about 12 or 13 yards, but we'll have to sort out the laundry, often in the area of holding.
Yeah, Campbell King's another one of those young men that comes in when he gets his opportunities. 10 carries for 94 yards, nearly 10 yards a carry on the year. So when he has had the opportunity, he's made it paid off. And there again would have gone for 12, 13 yards, but there's going to be a hold.
Offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Who plays it down?
It's a spot foul penalty, so we'll see where they mark it off from. It's almost like they're going to mark it off from the line to gain, which means it'll be 2nd and 10 again, and it is.
Look at that. Right back to the 33-yard line.
5.5 and counting here in this third quarter. Fulton still under center. Sends Sanders in motion. There's a handoff to the fullback. Looked like it was Sargent back in the game, and he gets about half of what the Rebels needed as he takes it down to the Lubbock High 27-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 coming up here for Tascosa.
A good 6-yard run. You'll take that all day long from the fullback in this offense.
Obviously 4-down territory for the Rebels, especially going into this breeze here in the third quarter. 65 points last week, trying to make it a 50-burger here as there's the handoff. Sargent looked like he was going to get hit right at the line of scrimmage. Instead, he was able to sneak out of there. He's going to be about a yard short when it's all said and done. And I believe this will be the first 4th down attempt that the Rebels have to navigate.
Well, they certainly haven't punted, and I don't see them doing so now. And going into the wind, if they were going the other direction, they might give Charlie Wittenberg an opportunity to kick a long one. But into this wind, I think that'd be a pretty tall task.
We were watching Wittenberg warm up with the wind at his back. He was hitting it from
yards.
55 with room to spare.
Yeah. It's a good, strong leg, but that wind makes a lot of difference. I didn't even make a golf club reference. I want you to know.
4th down and a yard for the Rebels. Sanders in motion. Here's a handoff. Trayson Elliott. He's going to have the first down as he just plows forward. Reese Cabe lets us know it's a first down as the 3-yard pickup by Elliott moves the chains to the Lubbock 21.
Good job. Just play good, conservative, smart football. You've got a huge lead. Just take it down the field, move those chains, maintain control of the ball, put this one in the books.
We may have a new quarterback in the game. I think we do, as the Rebels go straight to Braden Linneman. Saw him a little bit last week at Lowry Field. He's going to pitch it out to Sanders' left side. He's got some running room. Now cuts it in at the 10, the 5. DeAndre Sanders gets himself a homecoming touchdown as he walks it in from 21 yards out. And with 3:36 to go in this third quarter, it's 55-0 Tascosa.
Just a fantastic play. Good job by the new quarterback coming in. It's pretty nice when you can pitch it to DeAndre Sanders, who's averaging so many yards per carry, and takes it in from 21 yards out, as you said. Puts Tascosa up, 55-0 with Wittenberg's kick to follow.
Well, and one of the things I love, and we'll see how long Tascosa lets this go, but I always love bringing in your second quarterback, but still letting him work with some of those first-team guys like DeAndre Sanders, because you never know when you'll need it. And unfortunately for Tascosa, we've seen it too often that you have, as Wittenberg makes the extra point. 3:35 left in the third, 56-0 Tascosa here on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
Braceros Mexican Grill and Bar on 6th Street and Braceros Downtown presents 2 new plates on the menu, California Plate and Aguachiles de Camarón.
With more than 30 years of experience, we at Dawkins Overhead Doors take pride in our same-day installation and repair services, and we work to get you the best door for your needs. Dawkins also offers MyQ-compatible doors to help you monitor and open or close your garage whenever, wherever, right from your mobile device. From commercial to private, we're able to install or repair your garage doors no matter the size or style. Give us a call. Dawkins Overhead Doors has you covered.
Craving fajitas? Come to Braceros Mexican Grill and Bar on 6th Street and Braceros downtown on Wednesdays to get your choice of fajitas for $13.99. Chicken, beef, shrimp, or combination, all for $13.99. Only at Braceros.
Tascosa, it doesn't really matter what time of the game or who's in at quarterback or anything like that as they take over at the 33-yard line of Lubbock High School. Takes them 5 plays to go 33 yards, nearly 3 minutes off the clock. DeAndre Sanders gets on the board with a 21-yard run. Wittenberg's kick is good again, 56-0 Tascosa.
Sanders is the 6th Rebel to find the end zone, which I think matches the number they got last week against Lubbock Coronado. That's always one of the strengths of this team. You feel like when they're at their best, it's a lot of guys contributing. As here's a pooch kick, fielded at about the 22 or 23-yard line. Lubbock didn't call for a fair catch, and making a pretty decent return out of it was number 24, Jeremiah Young. And so Lubbock High is going to start off at their own 36-yard line. They had a couple of impressive drives in the first quarter or so, Steve. Got it onto the plus side of the 50-yard line. But Tascosa's defense really hasn't given them an inch since.
It's been pretty stifling since then. Once again, thanks to some of our sponsors, Amarillo Mitsubishi, Aqua One, and Jimmy Fincher Body Shop, some of our fantastic long-term sponsors. Thank you to all of those businesses again.
Well, you and I were talking during that commercial break. If you take the 37-0 run Tascosa finished with last week against Coronado, add it to the 56-0 start here, that's 93 straight points for Tascosa against these two Lubbock ISD schools. And it has been as impressive as that sounds, as here's a handoff. It's the second back end, Boyd, and he gets bulldogged down. Impressive tackle by Mikey Ramos, the senior defensive end, holding Boyd to a gain of just 2. And it looks like there might be an injured Westerner on the field after that play. And it looks like he might be down for a second as the Lubbock High trainers, now the Tascosa trainers, go out to tend to that young man. So we'll take a timeout here. 3:18 to go in this third quarter. And it's the Rebels in front of the Westerners by a score of 56-0 here on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
We were in a car accident shortly after leaving church on Mother's Day.
The McCraw Law Group was really there for us. As soon as they got a hold of the case, everything was prompt.
We were compensated fairly, and the most important thing of all is we were able to restore our time with our boys. I think if someone were to ask us for any advice, if they were in an accident, it would definitely be to call McCraw Law Group.
If you've been injured in an accident, at the McCraw Law Group, we're here to help. 806-342-5900.
Beef O'Brady's prides itself on 2 simple ideas.
A place to sit down for some good food.
And a place to catch the game with your friends.
But you know what's even better?
Our daily specials are some of the best in Amarillo.
So the next time the kids are being picky.
You want to catch the game or check out some live music.
Or you're just looking for a great happy hour with friends.
Think Beef O'Brady's.
Plus online ordering and catering available.
Beef O'Brady's, where family time meets game time.
Well, a quick return to action here as the Lubbock High player was able to get off under his own power. A quick little screen pass to Jose Flores, interrupted very quickly by Zayden Ford. Only a gain of, looked like a gain of 1, but I don't think they gave him anything.
Now I've got him right at the line of scrimmage. So that's 1 catch for 0 yards.
Yeah, sets up a quick 3rd and 8 for Lubbock High as we go under 3 minutes to go here in this third quarter. It's 56-0 Tascosa on homecoming.
Just a great job of fighting through that double block out there when they run that 3 wide receiver set.
So 3rd and 8, and this gives the Tascosa pass rush all kinds of opportunities here as there's 3 receivers bunched up to the right side for Reyna. He's going to pitch it out to Boyd. There's not a lot of real estate out there, and making another great pop out of bounds was number 12, Zayden Ford. So back-to-back great plays by Ford help bring this Lubbock High drive to a quick end as it's going to be 4th down and 5. I say that, the offense yet to come off the field here for the Westerners.
Yeah, Jacavian Moore was there also to help put a big pop on him. So held him to 3 yards.
And they're going to keep their offense out here on the field. It's the nothing to lose territory here. All right, I've got a number from Bill Bristow I'm going to throw out after this 4th down play one way or the other. I asked him for an interesting stat, and it took him about 2 minutes to come up with it.
I got confidence in my man Bill.
All right, 4th down play, low snap. Reyna flush, steps up, and he's going to get sacked. As that's going to end that play, and that's going to end that series, as making the tackle was Declan McAllister, the junior linebacker. And it's another empty drive for the Westerners as that drive ends right where it started at their own 36-yard line with a turnover on downs. All right, after Tascosa scored, I sent him a message just saying, hey, I don't know if this is even accessible, but what is the highest number of points that Tascosa has scored in back-to-back games? And he's got the answer. It came in 2021, and the answer is 129.
Oh, my gosh.
And if you look at it now for Tascosa, they're at 121, so it's very much in play. After the 65 last week against Coronado, 56 right now. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that.
But it's 37 against Coronado.
Well, we're talking total points in 2 games.
Okay,
yeah.
Not uninterrupted.
Not uninterrupted. We're at 93 in that regard here. As there's a handoff. It's a new fullback in for the Rebels. Zarian Malone, the junior, who we saw last week at Lowry Field. And if you want to know what 2 games it was just 4 years ago, the 82-0 game played a part of it. And Tascosa also scored 47 against Paladuro the week prior. So that's how they got 129 there. Here it's going to be second down. It's another handoff. Malone, boy, we've been impressed with him with what we've seen. There's another great run. And this is one of those just difficult situations. If you're Lubbock High, Tascosa's going into the bench. You're not losing a lot in terms of talent, but you've got some fresh legs running right down your face here.
Man, he looks strong when he does come in. He did last week as well.
So he picks up a first down, gets it down to the Westerner 19-yard line. And I have a feeling we'll see a steady dose of Malone. Looks like Cam Vallejo is checked into the game as well as Campbell King at tailback as we approach.
Ben Hambrick is at fullback.
As we approach the 1 minute mark, Hambrick's going to get the carry, and he's got a huge opening. He'll walk in untouched. First career touchdown for Ben Hambrick, and it comes on homecoming night as he takes it in from 19 yards out, and with 58 seconds to go in this third quarter, make it 62-0 Tascosa.
I just love it. I love it. I love it. I say it every time we get in this situation. Those guys that are getting in the game tonight lift every weight, run every sprint, show up to every practice just like everybody else. So when they get a chance to play, I like seeing the coaches give them a chance to play. They're not going to throw any reverse passes and all that kind of stuff, but they're going to run their offense. And, if you're playing your second team, third team, and the other team can't stop those guys, then like Steve Spurrier said, that's your problem.
Looks like another kicker's in the game as Wittenberg's going to close out a perfect night for himself. Tascosa has to run in an extra lineman and get him positioned. Looks like Ben Simmons is going to try for the extra point to make it 63-0. And that kick is up, and it is good. Less than a minute to go in the third quarter. Rebels in front of the Westerners 63-0 here on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
We take the stress out of collision repair. Jimmy Fincher Body Shop, the people who care. Make us your very first call. 'Cause at Jimmy Fincher we do it all. We fix it right, guaranteed. We don't cut corners, we do quality. Just as good as new, that's what we do. Jimmy Fincher Body Shop.
Are you noticing sinking floors, sagging walls, or cracking concrete? Don't put it off any longer. Call Legacy Support Works today. The longer you wait to fix your foundation problem, the more expensive the repair can be. In some situations, the cost of foundation repairs could almost double every year. Legacy Support Works is your trusted provider for all foundation repair needs. We can fit any budget with great financing options available.
Foundation repair doesn't get better with time. It gets better with Legacy Support Works.
Back here at Dick Bivens Stadium, Zarian Malone did some heavy lifting to get the Rebels down there, but Ben Hambrick gets his first career touchdown as the Rebels continue to pour it on here over the Lubbock High Westerners. 63-0. Ben Simmons, your number 2 kicker, gets a little pooch kick. It's going to be fielded at about the 19-yard line. Lubbock High's got some return happening here, as making a nice run was number 23, J.D. Morton.
Touchdown saving tackle there by Roger Ronaldo. Deep man back, playing that safety position, made a good sure-handed tackle at about the 45-yard line.
And so that's where Lubbock High is going to take over with this drive. Steve, I'll let you do that drive summary, but it was another quick one for Tascosa here.
Oh, yeah. 2 plays, 36 yards, 1:07 off the clock. Ben Hambrick comes in, rumbles in from 19 yards out. You could just see the elation in the way he ran that last 10 yards, scoring on homecoming here. Ben Simmons comes in to make the kick. 63-0 Tascosa with 50 seconds left in the third quarter.
Yeah, I've got Hambrick. That's just his 4th carry of the season. And he'll never have an easier one than that touchdown run from 19 out.
Great blocking up front.
So here's Lubbock High looking to get something going. Here's a handoff. Boyd trying to run it right side. Runs into a wall as the Rebels stuff it for about a 3-yard loss. 63-0 Tascosa here a week after dropping 65 on Lubbock Coronado.
We're getting close to the, 124 there?
So the record for points in back-to-back games is 129. The Rebels are at 128. And we'll see. They didn't score in the fourth quarter last week against Lubbock Coronado. Obviously didn't need to, as Lubbock High is going to have to run one more play here in this third quarter. But also for Tascosa, if you go back after halftime when it was 28-28 against Lubbock Coronado, as here's this second down play. It's a little swing pass to Boyd out in the flat, and he's able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. But it's 100 straight points for Tascosa over the span of 5 quarters. The third and fourth quarter last week, and remember, they didn't even score in the fourth quarter. And then the first 3 quarters here, it's 100-0 Tascosa over Lubbock Coronado and Lubbock High School. Just unbelievable dominance here from the Rebels, including tonight at homecoming. That is the final play of the third quarter. We'll go to the fourth, 63-0 Tascosa here on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
Beef O'Brady's prides itself on 2 simple ideas.
A place to sit down for some good food.
And a place to catch the game with your friends.
But you know what's even better?
Our daily specials are some of the best in Amarillo.
So the next time the kids are being picky.
You want to catch the game or check out some live music.
Or you're just looking for a great happy hour with friends.
Think Beef O'Brady's.
Plus online ordering and catering available.
Beef O'Brady's, where family time meets game time.
Quick return to action as Reyna rolls out to his left. Tried to fire out to Denzel Robbins. Great coverage. We're watching what is, we're getting down in the depth chart here, Steve, but there is not a loss of intensity out of this Tascosa defense as that pass falls incomplete and brings up a fourth down.
Zayden Ford over there at that corner position just had him blanket covered. If he'd have thrown it 1 yard behind the receiver, Zayden Ford would have picked it off and taken it 45 yards for the touchdown. So really nice job of some of these young men getting into the game.
So 4th down and 9. We saw Lubbock High go for it on the last time that they had it, and they were deeper than that. And it looks like they actually may, no, it's going to be the quarterback who stays out there. By the way, the note from Bill, 100 unanswered points spread out over 2 games. That is the most in school history for Tascosa.
Bo Davis back in the game for the 4th down.
Yeah, 4th down and 9. Reyna's being flushed. He may try to scramble. No, he's going to launch this down the field. He's got a receiver, and great job breaking that up. What a job by Roger Ronaldo to get his hands in there. There was a receiver coming back to that ball for Lubbock High School, but Ronaldo got his hands in the cookie jar, forces the incomplete pass. It's another turnover on downs for Lubbock High. And the rich get richer as the Rebels are going to take over at the Westerner 46.
You see this happen all the time on broken plays, when the quarterback scrambles out of the pocket. If a receiver is watching what's going on, he'll break his route and make himself quarterback friendly. He'll come back into where the quarterback can see him and try to work his way open, and that's what happened there. But here, like you pointed out, fantastic job by the defensive back for the Rebels. It was number 36, correct?
It was Roger Ronaldo.
Roger Ronaldo, yeah. Great job of recovery and knocking that ball loose.
Try to get some of the names checking in here as it's going to be an option. Here's a pitch out to Jake Hastings. He's got some running room into Lubbock High territory. Another 1st down run there as Jake Hastings gets it down to the 32. Nice little 14-yard pickup for the junior.
You just keep talking. I'm gonna try.
No, you're good. It gets to the point in the game, folks. We get to that point where we are having to kind of, flip through rosters. It's not the numbers maybe we get used to. I will say this though. I've got Jake in class, and you want to talk about a kid with $1 million attitude. Jake is a great, great young man, and if there'd be somebody who would be cool to see maybe get in here, it would be Jake. Because here's going to be a handoff. It looked like it might have been Zarian Malone checked back in at fullback.
Number 25.
Yeah, Malone with a nice little carry of about 8 yards. And we were talking in one of those commercial breaks. One of the problems here, just in terms of this game, is, and it speaks so much to the depth of Tascosa, but you can get 3rd and 4th on the depth chart, and there's still guys who are hungry, guys, like you said, have earned the right to play in this situation, and guys who have a lot of talent. And that's what we're seeing out of this Rebel offense here. As they're going to run a handoff, it's going to be Malone. This one's going to be close to the line to gain for a first down, as the Westerners do a nice job of bottling that one up. They're in the late stages of the game down in Shotwell Stadium. Abilene just kicked a field goal, and they lead Amarillo High 24-21 with 1:24 to go in that game. Remember, Amarillo High last week got that big win over Lubbock Monterey. And so we'll see how that game goes. Also down at Wichita Falls, Paladuro, this is a statement win as they are beating up on the Memorial Mavericks 48-6.
That is unbelievable. If you know anything about Wichita Falls High School, that's basically most of the Rider community that morphed into Memorial with some of the some of the Wichita Falls High School kids and that kind of thing. And they've been very successful these first couple of years. For PD to go on the road to Joe Golden Field down there and put that kind of a beat down on Memorial Mavericks is very, very impressive.
And we're to that point in the season. Obviously for Tascosa, this is game number 6. This technically starts the second half of the regular season here. I mean, that's their signature win is PD in that opening game, 10-0.
It sure is.
And it is a statement to what PD has done.
Every week.
Yeah, it's a statement to what PD has done. As it was a first down carry, here's going to be Linneman keeping it himself, and he gets tackled up around the neck and then goes down. Maybe picked up a yard there as we go under 10 minutes to go in this fourth quarter.
Yeah. Good job of closing there for the Lubbock High Westerners. Carson Pedroza looked like he's going to have some running room. Pedroza came across and kept that from happening.
West Plains suffered a loss today, 41-35 against Argyle Liberty. That's a private school coached by Jason Witten.
I'm telling you, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Last year it was about 50 points, so that's good. Hey, thanks again to Beef O'Brady's, the official watch location for TPSN live streams, and Bobby Doobie Motors, a couple of our fantastic sponsors.
There's going to be a handoff. It's Hambrick again, and he stumbles. He was about to bounce that out to the right side, and he lost his footing. They actually mark him at the 13, which is about a yard shy of the line to gain. So it's going to be 3rd down and a yard here for the Rebels.
Ben Hambrick comes in, 38 yards and 3 carries, 1 touchdown. He's got some quick feet and some good moves after he gets the ball.
Yeah, they just don't miss a beat, do they?
No. Zarian Malone back in at fullback now.
Looks like Cam Vallejo's in there, 3rd down and a yard. They're going to turn around, handoff to Zarian Malone. Almost ran into the back of one of his linemen as he does pick up the first down inside the 10, down to the Lubbock High 9. It'll be 1st down and goal as we approach the 8-minute mark to go in this game.
3 yards on that good hard run. And a good hard tackle. You got to give guys credit. J.D. Morton over there is the leading tackler for Lubbock High coming into this contest, and he just really met Malone in the hole and put a good hard tackle on him right there at the point of attack and kept him from gaining any further yardage.
So 1st down and goal here for the Rebels. Ball right in the middle of the field. As Linneman takes this, he's going to dial up his own number left side, running behind one of his blockers, gets it inside the 5 to the 4. As he was following big number 53, Ryan Armstrong, a senior offensive lineman who also doubles as one of the drum majors for the Rebel Regiment.
Don't you just love it?
I love it. I do.
I mean, it's high school. Do all you can do as long as you can, man. I get so tired of hearing about one sport athletes and all this kind of stuff. No, go do it all.
And I will say Tascosa has a great community and a great atmosphere where they expect kids to be run track in the spring and things like that. So It's a school that definitely promotes involvement. As it's second down and goal. Hastings in motion. Linneman going to call his own number. He's working off the right side. Gets it down to about the one. And this is, the unfortunate thing is there's only one ball and only one touchdown to be scored. You got about 4 or 5 guys out there all trying to get their first touchdown and be able to put it on their huddle highlight reel. We'll see on this third down and goal from the 1 yard line what the Rebels look to do here.
Linneman, a junior, I'm sure he'll be in the mix for who might be taking over for Colton Fulton after he graduates this year. So good for him to get some good experience in there.
All right, Hambrick is the fullback. Hastings is there as Linneman drops the ball and then got a nice little shove from Hambrick into the end zone. Touchdown Tascosa as Linneman becomes the 8th Rebel to score. And with 6:22 to go in this game, it's now 69-0 Rebels.
I promise you, the ball went across the goal line before his heart did, because when he dropped that ball, his heart jumped completely out of his chest. But he was able to scoop it up and had some good blocking up front, good push from behind. So touchdown for Linneman.
Yeah, the biggest hit he got was from Ben Hambrick on the backside, almost before he was able to scoop up the ball. And so now Ben Simmons will try to make it 70 for Tascosa here on homecoming night. As this kick is up, and it is no good off to the left. So with 6:22 to go in this one, Rebels leading at 69-0 here on the Texas Panhandle Sports Network.
This is Holden at 10. No budget, no spending alerts, no shot. And this is Future Holden. When Holden was 10, Mom signed him up for Amarillo National's Student Visa debit card. That first account helped him learn about money early, smart spending, budgeting, and a cash bonus for good grades.
So, what do we use our cash rewards for?
We took Bella to prom.
It's not too late to get your own student card.
Amarillo, listen up. Amarillo Mitsubishi is turning up the heat. Get behind the wheel of a 2025 Outlander, America's most affordable SUV with third-row seating, 0% APR for 60 months. Or go sign and drive with 0 down, 0 due at signing, 0 first month's payment. And it gets better. You're covered with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and 5 full years of roadside assistance. Plus, warranty forever comes standard. Amarillo Mitsubishi, your Mitsubishi headquarters.
Tascosa continues to roll regardless who's in the game. 9 plays, 46 yards, nearly 6 minutes off the clock. Braden Linneman in at quarterback. Took it in from 1 yard out. The kick failed. Tascosa ahead 69-0. 6:22 left in the ballgame.
So here's Simmons. He'll send this down there. Not going to be a touchback as it's fielded at about the 11-yard line. Good coverage there by the Rebels, although getting a little bit loose on the left sideline for Lubbock High was number 23, J.D. Morton. Gets it out to about his own 29-yard line, and that's where they're going to take over. And it's been an incredible show from Tascosa. The only thing that's gone wrong, a missed extra point here late in the game, but it's inconsequential.
Yeah, good job on that special teams coverage. Marsh Davidson, Michael Woods Jr., harassing him, taking him out of bounds at about the 30-yard line.
And I need this to be the last drive of the game because that's the last line I've got on my
it wouldn't hurt my feelings a bit.
on my notebook
trying
here.
To keep up with all this. Let's say we'll get some of the people in the game.